Yo! What's up, Internet? My name's Nerdy.
And I'm Clarus.
And this is your full book recap for The Lord of Chaos, Book 6 in the Wheel of Time.
Take 2.
We're so close to being halfway there.
I know. Well, actually, word count-wise.
Word count-wise, we're at 45%.
We're halfway there. We're back.
We were not in sync there. I did not realize that you were going to make a we're halfway there joke.
I mean, I thought that was the only joke to make.
But I was going to save that for next week. At the end of the next book.
Wow.
When we are, but even then we're not really halfway there because there's a prologue.
You had a plan and you didn't tell me the plan.
I didn't have a plan. I was improvising.
How we doing, guys? What's up? Threk, welcome back to the Nerd Table.
Threk, thank you for being a member for 8 dang months.
Let's go. All right, y'all.
This week's review comes from TC Taliaferro. TC Taliaferro. I hope I got your name right. They said, TV show hater who loves your show. And the review is 5 stars. I don't miss an episode. So, we're bridging the divide.
Yeah.
Bridging the divide between lovers and haters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
If you want to leave a 5-star review, we will read whatever you wrote. Trust me, we've read some weird stuff in this segment. So go over to Apple Podcasts, leave a 5-star review, and if you've left a review somewhere else, tell us where that is, and I'll read those reviews too. Are there reviews on Spotify? I don't know.
I don't use Spotify. That's a great question.
Slickjack wants to know how many times you change your clothes and hairstyle in a day.
That depends on the day.
That's true. Sometimes it's like 12 times.
Yeah. Anywhere between like 1 and 10.
Yeah.
But I am wearing the same thing and I have the same hairstyle as I did this morning, so.
I have no idea. I don't remember this morning. Now's a good time to bring up what you have to your left there.
Guys, do you support the Dragon Reborn?
That's right.
The Karakarn?
The Karakarn?
Let's go.
The car of cars. You can be a Siswaya Mama Man, a Siswaya Mommy, by wearing the beanie of the dragon.
Siswaya Mommy.
A Siswaya Mommy.
Let's go.
Soralia is a Siswaya Mommy.
Yeah.
So is Avienda. Avienda's a Siswaya Mommy.
I agree with that.
Go over to Fourth Wall. No, nerdynightly-shop.4. Can one of our mods post it in there? It's a hard link.
Making the mods work for you?
Oh, please. They have I know they all have stickies that they can just copy paste.
If you go to Nerdy Nightly, it'll show up.
It's a high quality beanie. It's really dope. Get your Siswaya Mommy beanie. That's what I should have called it. The Siswaya Mommy beanie. That's so funny. And just to get all the housekeeping out of the way right quick, this podcast is brought to you by Audible.
What?
Audible is a service that we are going to be using a lot in the next few weeks because we're going to be driving a lot.
True.
It's Audible. It's maps, right?
Do people read maps on Audible?
Can you imagine if you go on Audible and you're like, I would like the map of Canada, please. And it just starts with First Province, British Columbia. We start on the island called Vancouver Island in the city of Victoria.
Why are we starting in British Columbia? Why no love to the East Coast?
Because we speak English. It is a left to right language.
Ugh. Whatever.
How do you read? Are you reading manga? Are you out there being all right to left?
Absolutely not. Father Jerusalem, thank you for that super chat. We are also happy to be back and here to talk about some wells.
We can finally talk about who won the Battle of Dumas. Well, guys, I'm going to lose my shit on you. Vala Sadai, thank you for that super chat as well. Rarely get to catch you guys live, but I'm on my lunch break, so yay. Interested to know what you guys think was the biggest twist in the books so far.
You know what? That's a...
Biggest twist so far? That's a good question.
Yeah. Biggest twist.
Wow, I'm stumped.
Was not expecting the Ashaman to show up in Dumas Wells.
That was pretty huge.
That was, I think, the biggest one for me, where I was like, oh, very cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, also, Sex Monkey, thank you for dropping the link. We appreciate you.
I think them making Egwene Amerlin's seat the way that they did was a pretty big twist.
The way that they did?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that if I hadn't seen that coming, if I hadn't been so on the she's gonna be the Amerlin seat this book train, I also think Kyle being the first to die through the Ashaman portal, that was a big twist.
Gosh, yeah, they killed Kyle. So
Or no,
rude of them.
was his name Ken?
Ken.
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 Yeah, Ken was...
Justice for Ken.
Ken's twist was a big twist. I like Nathaniel with a bigger twist, Nynaeve's braid.
Oh god, that thing must be like matted with how much she pulls on it.
Joel Welliver brings up Ingtar. Ingtar was that was a good twist.
Oh, in like all of the books.
Yeah. In all the books.
Oh, see, that's harder.
You know what might still be the best twist in all of it so far is Padden Fane.
In what way?
In like the way that he's introduced him becoming this dark friend. I thought that the way that was handled in the first book was really cool.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Jason Farley, thank you for that super chat. Nerdy, you are right. Rand absolutely won at the Wells. Thank you so much.
Yes.
I know that I'm right.
Correct answer.
Because I'm right.
5 points to Jason.
5 points to Jason. Ingtar's a pretty big twist. That one's pretty good.
I know. We killed Kenny.
We killed Kenny.
So sad.
But
we're gonna have to fix that.
Y'all, this is our full book recap of Lord of Chaos. And the way the full book recaps work is that y'all ask us questions in the Discord and we answer them. And we have over 70 questions.
Tuxwayaman.
The Tuxwayaman. Tuxwayaman's really good too.
I like it. Well done.
I still want a Siswayamami though.
Siswayamami, yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So we're going to get to the questions in the Discord because there's 70 of them.
Yes, we are. But a big thank you to those of you who stuck with us today. I know we had some problems earlier. And we're really excited that some new people are able to join us live in this different time slot. So welcome on in.
Absolutely. We're starting with Colonel Sanders today. Colonel Sanders asked in the Discord, as our main characters travel around, we keep learning about the world and cultures. Which culture do you find the most interesting to continue to learn about? And are there any you would like to live under?
The Aiel.
And no.
No. Yeah. The Aiel are... Here's the thing. The Aiel were the most interesting culture to me at first. Okay. And the more time that we spend with them, the more they are still the most interesting, which I think is just great writing.
Yeah.
I think that, you know, the mystery of, like, the sea folk and things like that is very, very intriguing. And I definitely expected the Aiel to be less intriguing the more that we learned about them, but the opposite of that is true for me. So the Aiel, I think, for sure, hands down. Yeah,
absolutely. I would not want to live under the Aiel culture. It sounds like a nightmare. Another culture I would not want to live under is Ebudar. Or Kyrian.
No, I'm not a fan of knife duels.
I'm not a fan of the Game of Houses.
No, that sounds awful.
Are there any that I would like? I would live with the Ogier.
Yeah.
A slow, peaceful life in the forest? That sounds great, honestly. James Ross, thanks for being an ARG.
James, thank you. Welcome in.
But the Aiel is definitely the most interesting culture. Although Ebudar, I'm excited for more Ebudar. I'm happy for more Ebudar.
Actually, I'm excited for this that place that was like introduced that Graendal had her like pets from. Starts with an S and there's too many S words.
It's not Saldea.
No.
No, it's the Salami.
Yes.
Palmains Dolavine, what's up with 10 gifted memberships? Holy balls.
Thank you, that's so kind.
Holy balls. Joel Welliver joined the Discord this week just to ask a question. We'll get to your question unless you was spoilers and you got deleted. Sorry about that. Andor seems chill. Andor seems the most like normal.
Yeah.
I would be a farmer in Andor.
Yeah.
You know what? I actually wouldn't mind living in Tyr because it's like anti-magic because like I don't really want to live around a bunch of magic. But it's not as like evil looking as the White Cloaks are. You know what I mean? So it's like I don't have to worry about magic all the time, but like I don't feel like I'm gonna be like inquisitorialized.
Yeah. I wonder
Shara. Everyone's saying Shara.
I wonder if in Shara the like middle class people like I wonder what their lives are like with this system that they have about the rulers every 7 years, and if that actually benefits the people or not. I'm curious.
I don't know, but that whole marrying the next person every 7 years, that makes me uncomfy. And I'm like a great leader, and I'm very attractive, so I would end up marrying the queen. Like I would be the next king.
Yeah.
And so
difficult.
I would only have 7 years. Like that seems rough. Well, no, I guess you get 14, right? You're like the king in waiting for 7 years with the...
Yes.
So I would get to bone down with 2 different queens.
Yeah. Not bad.
14 years?
I'm just saying, bad.
That's about all I need. Actually, I take it back. Yeah, I want to go be king of the Shara for 14 years of queen,
great.
betting, and then getting just like knocked out of there.
Great.
Hopefully painlessly. Hopefully it's just like a quick...
Hopefully. Oh my God.
I'd be down for that.
Okay.
Next up is Breezy. Breezy asks, if Asmodean was still around, do you think Rand could or would have trusted him to teach the Black Tower?
No.
Yeah, no.
No.
Here's the thing. The reason I think that Rand is able to trust Tame to do it and not Asmodean is that Rand is under the belief that he knows more than Tame. And I think that he would be scared of Asmodean teaching the Black Tower people things that he doesn't know.
Yeah.
I also think that Rand would never have let Asmodean be that far away from him.
Yeah.
And so, yeah. And so I don't think, even if he trusted him, even if he was still around, I don't think Rand would ever trust him far enough to leave him alone with a bunch of men who can channel and not think that he would like teach them how to break the bond that Lanfear put on him.
Well, like, I breaking the bond, but also, with Asmodean, oh shoot, what was I gonna say? I
don't know.
Asmodean being a Forsaken, they tend to be pretty top tier manipulators.
Yeah.
And so having somebody like that in charge of your soldiers, if the loyalty is to that person and not to you, that can end up being a problem. So
100%.
Yeah, I don't think that the trust would ever go that far.
I think that same issue holds for Mazrim Tame though. I think him showing up without the symbols on his collar at Dumas Wells implies to me that he is like trying to put himself above the rest of them.
Yes.
And they don't know Rand. Rand doesn't even know their names, right? So I think that there's a danger there of Mazrim Tame having the loyalty of those men rather than Rand himself.
Yeah.
Wildwood, thank you for that super chat.
Thank you.
Found you through the Sandman reactions. Thank you for watching the Sandman reactions. Appreciate that.
Thank you so much.
Finally caught up to you. Found an Eye of the World during Desert Shield Storm. Love the freshness you bring back to it, and I enjoyed the love between you all.
Thank you.
Nerdy for Val and Luca or Loyal.
Loyal's already cast.
Yeah, and I like that he plays Loyal a lot.
Yeah.
Look, would I love for his eyebrows to be a little bit bigger? Maybe a little bit more hair in his ears? Yeah, but other than that, I actually was really happy with the Loyal performance in season 1.
The performance was great, yeah. But
I would love to be Val and Luca.
That would be...
And just, like, give puppy eyes to Nynaeve. Maybe she spanks me on set one day. Like, come on. Mm-hmm. What man wouldn't go for that?
Ask her to mother your babies, you know.
She wouldn't be the first. Actually, she would. I've never asked a woman to mother my babies before.
I was like, wait a second.
That's not my kink.
No.
Yeah. No kink shaming if you're into the whole breeding thing, but not for me. Eric Byland, thank you for that super chat.
Thank you so much for the super chat. Yay.
Getting to catch you live for the first time for one of my favorite sections of the books. I understand that. Very, very good section. Love your discussions every time. Where would you rather have been a grunt, Shido at Dumas Wells, Allied at D-Day, or Rohirrim at Pelennor?
That's rude. So rude. But thank you for the super chat.
The Rohirrim.
What's the Allied at D-Day?
That means you would have been an American on Normandy Beach in France in World War II.
Oh, would suck, yeah. But maybe then you would...
blank look on your face.
Maybe I think I would rather be shot to death, I think, than stabbed.
There were Canadians at D-Day. How do you not... Yeah, just... Okay.
I didn't. It's wars and that. Guys,
yeah.
I was too busy reading Aragon for the 30th time to pay attention to wars.
I would honestly rather... I think being Rohirrim... Uh-huh. Going into Pelennor would be, at least I would be the good guy.
True.
And it's more of a situation of my skill against the enemy. D-Day was a massacre because,
as opposed to like luck.
Yeah, guns, you just you either survived it or you didn't, right? Mm-hmm. But like people, when any fight where men are just tossed into a meat grinder, which is the same with the Shido at Dumas Wells. Mm-hmm. It's literally described in the book as a meat grinder.
The Shido is at the bottom of the list, the absolute very bottom.
Yeah, so I would definitely go with the Pelennor Fields. Also, I just want to be Rohirrim. Guys, I'm so excited for Rings of Power.
Honestly, yeah, wearing the armor and riding the horse, like that would be fun.
Yeah, I am allergic to horses, so I don't know how well that would go if there wasn't some like Benadryl or Zyrtec. But...
Right, you're allergic.
Do you think that Gandalf had like magic Benadryl that he could have like given me?
I wonder if they have allergies in the Lord of the Rings. It's never talked about.
I want that so bad. I want to play the dwarf in the Rings of Power in like season 3 who's allergic to the horse that he's on.
Yeah.
And so I'm just behind everyone sneezing the whole time. Valis said, I thank you so much for that super chat. I don't know what you spoiled, but
thank you for the super chat,
we'll
but
take
it's
your
fine.
money.
We missed it.
We missed it. I did not read it.
Thank you, Sex Monkey.
This is why we trust Monkey. She's the best.
Monkey knows.
Clarice, have you ever seen Saving Private Ryan?
No, I haven't.
Really?
All I know about that movie is there's a guy and he like stabs the guy really slowly.
Can I tell you a secret?
What?
I've also never seen Saving Private Ryan.
So reaction.
Yeah, we'll react to Saving Private Ryan. I've actually never seen it. Tommy Tsunami, thanks for popping in.
Tommy, hello.
Look at that, an IRL friend.
Thank you so much.
Thanks so much. I hope you're having a good day at work.
It was a good birthday weekend, so I appreciate that.
All right, let's move on to this next question from Torvok, which says, how do you feel that nearly 24 Aes Sedai swearing fealty on their knees to Rand will affect the story going forward, and can most or all of them be trusted? None of them can be trusted.
No.
Trust no Aes Sedai.
No. Yeah. No. Like I said, I think last week, or not last week, that was like 3 days ago. I think that them being forced to swear fealty in this way is going to just have a level of resentment.
Yeah.
Like even more than what would have been. Especially because the Aes Sedai that arrived with Varen were there to save him, and Rand kind of gave him a big fuck you. Now, here's the thing. They can't count, right? They brought the wrong number, and like, they...
Did 24 swear fealty? Wait, this says 24.
So we had the 9...
But didn't only the 9 swear fealty?
Was it only the 9, or was it the other one?
Oh my god, wait, are they the 9?
The 9.
Are they his Nazgul?
Do they get rings? Does he give them rings that slowly overtake them?
Wait. How funny a reference would that be? Is if Robert Jordan wrote in like the 9? I would love that. I think that'd be very cool.
Yeah, I think this is just going to make the politics between Rand and the Aes Sedai just even more complicated, and so I think it's gonna suck.
I don't know about that. I don't. I think that there might be an element of I feel like this kind of makes Egwene's life easier, in a way. Because Egwene is now put in a corner a little bit, but it's the corner that she wants to be in. Like, we know that Egwene wants to be on Rand's team.
Yes, but not to swear fealty.
No, and I get that, right? But I think that from a political viewpoint, there's an element of Egwene wanting to be for Rand, but trying to figure out how to get the other Aes Sedai on board, that those 9 swearing fealty to him from Saladar make it so that she's put into a corner that she was already trying to lead the Aes Sedai into. Does that make sense?
Yes, but when people are stubborn because they're forced into a thing, even if it was like the path that you were trying to lead them down anyways, and then they immediately like balk. Yeah, I think that there's definitely going to be a lot of Aes Sedai who are not comfortable with this in any way, shape, or form, and they're gonna be very unhappy about it.
Yeah, I just think that it pushes them in a direction that they would have gone down anyway. So I think that there's going to be a lot of like protesting about it and some like pissy reactions. But I think that ultimately the value of this will benefit Egwene more than it hurts her.
Yeah.
And so on.
Bike Merns, thank you for that super chat.
I've got to jump off to join a meeting, but I'll watch the rest later. Just sending support to one of my favorite channels. We're one of your favorites? But there's so many good ones. Y'all are the best. No, you're the best. Bike Merns.
Thank you.
I really hope his name isn't Mike Burns. I hope Bike Merns is just like a random thing.
No, I love it.
I love it.
All right, Wheel of Time fan edit asks.
Let's go.
How would you adapt the wolf communication to screen? What would it take to have we come hit with the right impact?
I've thought of this, and
I know you have.
I was like, okay, how can I like direct? Hey, if I were directing the episode, how would I direct the we come moment? And this is what I would do. Okay, I would take our boy Perrin, and I would put him in a green screen environment. Unfortunately, because I don't think there's a physical way to do this. And I would put the camera on a crane that can do a 360 spin around him. And I would start with the camera, like, I would do, like, so he's facing towards this way, right? So this is the front of him. Okay. And I would start with the camera on him. I would do a slow push-in on his face as he says, they have caged Shadow Killer, right? Mm-hmm. And then I would start the spin of the camera around his body. So it's looking at him, and then as it comes over his shoulder, we see this big wolf step. Basically, the background would be this if you could turn the hills into a Rorschach ink blot test. Does that make sense?
No.
It would be like every time the camera spins around him, he's in a different section of hills.
Oh, yeah.
So it's this like, it has this like dream quality where he's clearly in a similar place, but it's different from every angle you look at it from. So you take the camera and you spin it around him. And then as it catches the first wolf over his shoulder, that wolf has one of those like epic voices, right? And we have the first "we come" and it booms. And then
it's a blind seer.
Yeah. The camera passes around and you just see Perrin as it comes back around to Perrin's face. He is not happy about it. Like he's clearly concerned and he protests. And he's like, no, we've got this. It's going to be dangerous for wolves. There's going to be Aes Sedai, whatever the wolf word for Aes Sedai is. And then we see as the camera keeps panning around him in the circle, and it never stops moving. I think that if I was to direct Teleran Riyadh, I would have the camera always in motion in Teleran Riyadh so that the world feels a little bit jiggly.
Yeah.
And then as we do this second pass, once Perrin starts protesting, wolves start to appear around him, walking out of shadow into this inkblot test.
Right.
And we come around a second time. He protests. We protest. We hear the first wolf say, "We come" a second time. And there's a chorus of echoey, very faint "we comes" from a bunch of other wolves. And Perrin protests a second time. He's like, no, you've got to understand. There's Aes Sedai, we will take this over. I just need you to help me get there. And then as the camera gets behind him the second time, you just see this legion of wolves. They've been slowly popping into existence. And you hear this resonant "we come," right?
Yeah.
To which the camera pushes in really quickly on Perrin's back. And as that happens, we see him sit up in bed. And so it's this seamless shot of him waking up. And the camera keeps its motion. So for just a second, the camera is still moving in the real world like it does in the dream world.
Yeah.
And then it stops for the first time on his face, completely still. And we just see sweat and fear in his eyes.
I love that.
Right? And
I love the idea of making it happen in Teleran Riyadh. So that you can actually like physicalize. That's the right word, right? Yeah. The wolves and the appearing and like the movement of that. Wow, that's really cool. I like it.
I've been thinking about Teleran Riyadh and like how you make that work visually a lot. And I think having it sway, like almost like the buildings they're there, but like if you were to like boop them, they would like jiggle like Jello. And so you give like all of Teleran Riyadh this like very real world look that is just slightly in motion in a weird way that makes it off-putting.
Yeah. No, that would be rad. I love that.
Yeah. I love Teleran Riyadh so much, and it's one of those things where I'm like, I really want them to do something more with it than they did in season 1, where all of those dream sequences are just like a cabin. Yeah. And like a forest.
They were much different in book 1 anyways. Yeah. Like I think that Teleran Riyadh needs to evolve and grow. With the characters and the series. So, yeah, I think that's fun.
Yeah, SG says, like, seen through a heat haze. That's a good point. I think a fun way to do it would be to use the technique that Zack Snyder, and I'm not one to, like, name check Zack Snyder positively very often, I know. So, but the thing I loved about Army of the Dead was the focal length of the lenses that he used allowed for Vegas to look as hot as it does when you're actually in Vegas. I thought it was brilliant the way he used the lenses to give the appearance of the heat of the desert. Yeah. I loved that. And I think that would be another technique that you could use to really give Teleran Riyadh a slightly shifty look to it.
Yeah. No, I love that. That sounds rad. I got nothing to top that.
Yeah, that's how I would do it.
Great. You win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Father Jerusalem says, "Wolves, we come." Perrin stares at the camera like he's on The Office. Suddenly there's blinds and he's looking through them into the camera.
You're like, what is happening?
We're back with Breezy again. This is, what do you think the moral implications are of Rand making the Aes Sedai swear a blinding fealty oath to him? Was this warranted or was he out of line? We've already answered the first part, but do you think that Rand's response was warranted?
Considering what he had been through just then... Yes. Do I think it is the right way to do it? I don't know.
I think he's in the right. I think it's the only thing you do in that situation. Rand has to assert his dominance over the White Tower because he cannot trust them.
Yes, the problem is that everyone is going to be needed for the final battle, right?
Yeah.
And if you have the Aes Sedai who are rebelling against your, like, authoritarian, like, you're swearing fealty to me,
Yeah.
then you are missing essential pieces that you need to win.
Sure, but that presumes that they're not dark friends, which Rand can't possibly know, right?
Yeah.
And so Rand cannot trust that they're not already dark friends, and so they have to either swear fealty to him or they're enemies, basically.
But a dark friend can still swear fealty.
Yeah, sure, but like there are consequences for breaking fealty, right?
Like what?
He'll kill you.
Sure, if he finds out.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like it's not like the one of the 3 oaths where you're like bound by magic, right? Like.
Oh, for sure. But I'm saying, like, in that situation, Rand had to go, I am top dog. Because if he had done anything else, he would be showing weakness after he was just shown to have a weakness.
Yeah.
He is literally not left with a single option in that situation.
Yeah. This one is so tough to me because I just think that, like, it is going to negatively impact so many things.
But what other? So my question
And that's
is,
the thing is, I
if
don't
you
know.
think that it's complicated and that it's going to hurt him, what wouldn't have hurt him in that situation?
I don't know.
Like, I think that this is the strongest way out of that situation.
Yeah.
Because it looks strong to him. The Ashaman, who are more powerful than the Aes Sedai, are. It is more important, and this is the point that I'll make. It is more important for the people who already follow Rand to see him as the most powerful option, because yes, he does not have the support of the Aes Sedai yet, but he cannot lose any support. And this way, I don't think there's anything he could have done in that situation except kneel to the Aes Sedai that they would have been happy with because they're up their own asses.
True.
But there is a lot of ways he could have lost the support of his people. And he didn't do that.
Yeah, oh yeah. And, you know, like, even the Aes Sedai, like, earlier in the book when he kind of sends them away, you know, the Aiel, are like, you handled them well. Because they're not...
Mullane compliments the way that he handles it.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, the Aes Sedai are just kind of dumb.
I think, you know, I agree with Mullane. If Mullane says it's true, it's true. Guys, I don't agree with the wise ones. I'm not dumb. I listen to the wise ones and I do what they say.
The wise ones know what's up.
Yeah,
the
and therefore, Rand did the right
children.
thing. If Mullane says it was the right thing to do, is the right thing to do, that's the answer to the question.
True.
Sean Ashaman, I know what that means now.
Oh, Sean Ashaman, yes.
You have just been hired as Rand's therapist after being tortured, confined, and sharing brain space with Luther and Telamon. How would you seek to address his trauma?
Oh boy, I don't know. I'm not a therapist, and I don't know techniques.
I
touch
wouldn't.
grass.
I would not address his trauma. I would be like, all right, so Tarmin Gaiden is approaching, and we need to deal with that first. But we can work on your trauma after that.
No, I would refer him to the best therapist that money can buy.
No, I would just leave him in Min's hands. Honestly, I think the best thing for Rand would just be a vacation with Min, like Costa Rica, on a beach with like a margarita. You know what? I would take Rand to an all-you-can-eat, like all-inclusive resort, and like let him and Min have fun. I would keep Avienda and Elaine far away, because they're both nightmares sometimes. They're great. I love them both. Occasionally nightmares.
So your solution is a vacation.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. That.
Why do you think we're going to Disney World in 2 weeks?
I know. I was gonna say. I think
my solution for my own problems is vacation.
I think that says a lot about us.
Disney World. No, I would send Rand to Disney World. Come on, he would have so much fun. He would have so much fun. Can you imagine Rand riding Space Mountain? It would bring him so much joy.
He'd be like, "What is this monstrosity?"
I think I'm just really excited to go to Disney World.
I think
we're
that you
so
are
close.
Too.
As long as we just don't get COVID in the next week, we'd be so good. Sex Monkey says a swingers cruise.
A swingers cruise. That's hilarious. No, I would have him write letters to himself every morning about what he wants.
Dear Evan Hansen, we've been way too out of touch. Jeff Dennis says Ken was Randland's best therapist. What now, Carouse?
God damn it. Well...
How did we lose Ken?
Guys, Ken was like the most important person that we didn't know we needed.
To be honest, Sean Asherman, I don't understand therapy. I've been in therapy a lot because clearly I have problems, but I don't really understand it, so I don't know what I would do. But we should find a therapist who's willing to do a YouTube video, and we should describe what happens to Rand in Wheel of Time to him and see what he thinks of or he or she thinks of the situation, or they. We don't know.
That would be so funny.
That would be a very funny video.
We'll pay them for an hour session.
And I'll pretend, and I will talk through all of the things that happens to Rand as if they happen to me and see what the therapist says.
Oh my god.
That would be hilarious.
I think you would be committed.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not...
I end up, well, yeah, if I was like, yeah, I have magic powers, and I fought at Dumas Wells, and my friend Maz from Tame, who's not my friend because the voice in my head wants to murder him.
Yeah, that would be, I think that you would not walk away from that. I think someone would knock at our door.
So, Father Jerusalem asks, on a scale of 1 to 10, how bad do you think the rebel Aes Sedai are going to realize they fucked up by raising Egwene because they thought she would be biddable?
Oh, I cannot wait for the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Like her gotcha moment. I cannot wait for it. It's going to be so good.
Yeah.
Because, they think that because she's young and she's playing into the part so well.
She's crushing it.
And that's what's going to be the biggest reveal, I think, to these people, because she's playing into it. She's feeding into this idea that she's listening to them, and she's scared and nervous and, like, trying to get help. Meanwhile, she knows exactly what she's doing. Swan is helping her and aiding her and, like, giving her advice. God, it's going to be such a good moment. If it happens,
honestly, or on the flip side, maybe Swan just like crushes it. Maybe they just crush the deception. You know what I mean?
Just forever?
Or they die.
Yeah.
Mogideon is free, so like I don't trust that anyone from Salad Bar is safe anymore.
Yeah.
Mogideon's Revenge, they should just name the next book. Like, look, I know that this book is called A Crown of Swords. This is the most boring color yet for the books, but there's 14 books. Not all the colors have to be amazing. This book is called A Crown of Swords, but it should just be called Mogideon's Revenge. It should.
Unless she doesn't get her revenge until the following book. What?
Maybe. But I think it's going to be faster than that. Let's go on to... Sharon Scout asked, one of the issues with the first trilogy was the repeating plot structure, splitting and up and reuniting at the end for a big battle, where a new faction shows up and or the magical artifact of the book is used, Horn Kalendor. What do you think of the structure for the second trilogy, from the Shadow Rising to Lord of Chaos? Do you think there's an overall arc across these 3 books, or some thematic connection or repeating plot points? That was a long question, and I didn't stumble over any of it, so I feel proud of myself.
I'm proud of you.
I think that I prefer the structure of 4, 5, and 6.
Yeah.
On the men's side. And I prefer everything that happened to the women in 1, 2, and 3.
Interesting. Yeah.
I think the storytelling for the women has been very inconsistent, mostly because the books don't seem to be framed around the climaxes of their stories. Mm-hmm. Like, Egwene being raised in the middle of this book meant that was kind of the end of the narrative. Mm-hmm. And then a couple of things happen after that that are just like, they just happen. Yeah. And then even Elaine spent all of Fires of Heaven just trying to get to Saladar. And then they get to Saladar, and them being there didn't seem all that important, other than they are now Aes Sedai.
Yeah. The books are about Rand. And they are catered to Rand's plot points.
But like the situation in Ebu Dar really didn't end. It was just kind of like, next time. Yeah. In the Hall of Justice. And so I think I would like for women, I would like for the women's storylines to feel like they're more naturally arced throughout each individual book, rather than this like very long storyline for the women that will just kind of like have little endpoints randomly throughout the story. Yeah. While the Rand storyline is the like structure. And I think that the thematic ties between the two storylines could be a little bit stronger at times. And they were strong in the first 3 books. In the second trilogy, it's a little bit haphazard.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. I don't think that it will change. I think it will always be centered around Rand's storyline. Even the book where it was centered around Perrin's instead.
But there's a way to do that ties that allows the women's stories to have like natural conclusions at the end of each book. Like, this book, the last thing we see the girls go through in this book is they're like, this Azra girl looks like she's going to be the important next step in our journey. Cut. And you're like, wait, what?
Yeah.
That's not... It's not an ending. It's not a climax.
Yeah.
I would have rather he ended it with them meeting Tylan. And, like, honestly, Nynaeve and Elaine's story in this book should have ended before they go out into Abu Dar. It should have ended with them sitting down with Tylan and meeting the Queen of Abu Dar and having this meeting. Like, that would have been an ending, but, like, this weird kind... it's like it trails off.
It definitely does. It definitely trails
rather
off.
than ending, whereas, like, Fires of Heaven kind of had the same thing. Whereas if you go back to, what was 4? Dragonborn's 3, Shadow Rising. At the end of Shadow Rising, you have the end of Tenchiko is this big thing at the same time as Emond's Field is this big thing. And so all of those storylines, and it's why I think Shadow Rising is still the best book in the series. I know last week I said it might be Lord of Chaos, but I think it's still Shadow Rising because structurally, the strength of the crest of the climax through all of the narratives at the same time in Shadow Rising was so strong.
Yeah.
And it really just tied everything together at the same time and allowed some thematic arcs across all of the storylines to meet up. And I prefer that to this version.
Yeah. But then that is in book 4. That's not book 1 through 3.
Right, but I'm saying that book 4 broke the structure of 1 through 3. Like,
oh, I see what you're saying.
I like the structure of 4. And I wish all of the books had more of the structure of 4. Does that make... Yeah.
Yeah, I guess. I think you do have to, like, shake things up, especially when you know you're in it for the long haul. Evan Desora, welcome back to the Nerd Table.
Thanks much. No question, I can never come up with one that is not deleted as a spoiler.
It's tough, I guess.
But I am in Orlando and can help find a place to stream if needed. Interesting.
Oh.
Interessante.
I mean, we're going to be at the Disney park.
We're going to try and do it from our hotel.
Yeah, we're gonna try. We'll see how the Disney Wi-Fi
Stick around to the end of the show today to find out what the split is, to be the first to know the split for, well, other than the people in the spoiler chat who made it, for book 7. It's gonna be fun. Yeah, I feel like I answered that question. Do you feel like you have anything more to add to that?
Do you think that not really?
Right.
Yeah, but I do agree with you where I think that, which is why it's my favorite, that book 4 had that, everything lined up very nicely. And I think that was one of the weaker points in the past 2 books, especially last book. Yeah. For sure, yeah.
Karen Tavarin, nice, says, now that you're about halfway through the series and have experienced events like Dumas Wells, any bold predictions about what the end of the series will look like or what some of the character arcs will look like?
Bold predictions from us? No, never.
I think that it's going to end with Rand riding a horse along a beach. And then he's going to get to the end of the beach and he's going to look up and it's the Statue of Liberty. But instead of our Statue of Liberty, it has a monkey face.
Okay.
You have no idea. An ape face. I should say it's an ape face. You have no idea what I'm referencing.
No, I thought that was for Sex Monkey.
No.
Were you referencing Merlin? No. When Merlin shows up in its present day?
Kind of like that.
Okay.
Anyway.
Yeah, no, I don't get it.
It's Planet of the Apes. Don't worry about it.
Cool.
It's a spoiler for a 2003 remake of a movie.
Great. I love that for me. We have made some bold predictions throughout. I don't have any, like, extras. Why? Leave me alone. I'm gonna do my nails later tonight anyways.
I know, but you're brushing them off onto me.
Oh, I'm sorry. I do think I do still stand that Alana is gonna die. But I think that that's not gonna be for the end of the series.
Mm-hmm. You think Alana's gonna die?
Yep. I stand by that. That is my prediction.
I think that Cad Swain makes it all the way to the end. Because we haven't met her yet and everyone loves her. So I feel like Cad Swain, whoever this Cad Swain woman is...
Yes. No spoilers.
No freaking clue who this woman is. I bet in the epilogue, Cad Swain is there being like, well done, friends. We won. That's my prediction.
Oh my god.
Cad Swain is in the epilogue of A Memory of Light. Put it in the prediction book.
My bold prediction is that... Rand fucks up so badly and everyone's all fighting one another. That when Tarmageddon happens and that's the last battle, he's like, we need some allies. So he goes through the arches and he allies with the weird vampire elves. And the
Ylfin Aelfins?
Those thingy, whatever
They sound like Legend of Zelda creatures.
They really, yeah. And I don't know shit about them, but I think they're gonna be at Tarmageddon. That's my bold prediction.
I agree with,
It's a lot of spoilers. Don't look at the chat right now.
Do I think they'll be at the final battle? I don't know. I think we're gonna spend some time in their world. I think we're gonna spend some time. I don't know if they can cross over.
That is my bold prediction.
Maybe they're the ones that they have to go to cure the taint. The Ylfin Aelfins are like the key to the taint cure.
Cure the taint.
Yeah, like they have the like brush that can get in there and really like scrub at it.
They've got the like straw cleaner. You can't clean a straw without the specific straw cleaner. Yeah. Okay. Gotcha.
All right, that's our predictions for the end. Father Jerusalem asks, which big ending has been your favorite?
I'm sorry, mods. So we will not bring up Cat Swain again because apparently people can't.
All I said was I don't know who she is, but I think she's in the epilogue.
I know, and suddenly chat had to. You guys, don't spoil.
Okay, of the big battles so far, which is your favorite?
Of the big battles, yours is Emond's Field, right?
Yeah. Mine is Emond's Field. Okay. It's still my favorite chapter in all of these books.
Yeah.
Perrin's battle at Emond's Field. It is. Just because of how much emotionally is at stake and the way in which that story is told. And as much as I love the Ashman and as much as I love the Aes Sedai, I like the underdog surviving the day. It's the reason why Two Towers is my favorite Lord of the Rings book and movie. Mm-hmm. I love that kind of battle. And so Emond's Field, it is the ultimate in like just people banding together and being people as a community to overcome this great obstacle that I love so much.
Okay. I think mine is Tyr. And the reason why it's like a very specific reason.
Wait, the sacking of Tyr or the fight in Tyr?
No, the sacking of Tyr, because because Rand goes into Tel'aran'rhiod without realizing it. Like, does this fight through that we don't understand, and then we understand books later. And I just think that how that is done is it's brilliant. I think it's really cool. So yeah, I don't know. I really liked that one.
I'm surprised neither of us goes to Falma.
Falma was what I was thinking about, but
it's just it's not really your favorite, right?
It's not really a favorite because I don't think
The Great Hunt as a whole isn't my favorite.
Yeah, the great, like the Horn I think will be more interesting later on. But in book 2 it was like we got the thing so that we played the trump card. It
reminds me of the change in Return of the King from the book to the movie. Because in the book Return of the King, Aragorn and Legolas, the ghosts basically help them get the ships.
Yeah.
And then they go down the river collecting all of the people along the river. The ghosts don't go all the way to Minas Tirith. Or not, Minas Tirith.
Minas Tirith, yeah.
The ghosts don't go all the way there, right? And so when they get to the fight, they bring like all of the river people to Minas Tirith, and it's more of this like humanity banding together thing, which I love. Whereas in the movie, you're watching it and you're like, well, yeah, they win. They're okay.
They got the ghosts, yeah, which totally fair.
Which is it's a very cool visual, but for me, it doesn't have the emotional hit.
Well, and I think it's really hard. Like we say, like these are our favorites, but I think honestly, all of the battles are really well done.
Y'all, if you keep commenting about the damn fireworks, I'm gonna buy a stone wall and a bunch of fireworks. I'm gonna prove to you that those fireworks would not have opened that damn wall wide enough.
We're gonna collab with Mr. Beast because he's got the money to build us a stone wall and get some fireworks. And we're going to prove this theory.
Would one bundle of fireworks manage to blow up a stone wall? Today we find out with Mr. Beast. This video is sponsored by Venmo. Venmo is giving me a shit ton of money to be really energetic.
Wow, that was beautiful.
That's a Mr. Beast video.
Yeah.
I think it sounds like I'm making fun of him. I think he's brilliant. I think like Mr. Beast is Jimmy's fucking...
He's great.
It's insane. It's insane.
But you are spot on.
But his videos are like... I feel like I did cocaine watching his videos. You know what I mean? Like, even his TikToks have more edits in them than like an hour-long video that I make. And I just like...
You're like, how?
I feel like I'm getting punched in the eyeballs whenever I watch one of his videos. And yet, I always click on them because I know I'm going to have a good time.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's
an art that he has perfected.
Yeah, it's crazy. It is crazy.
Yeah.
Where are you getting an illuminator? Winter on the Web, this is the real world where you can go to the American South and people will just hand you fireworks. Like, just walk down the street.
Free?
Yeah, you'll just collect them.
Oh, here there's like trucks.
Yeah.
You buy them off of blue trucks.
Yeah. But you need illuminator fireworks. I promise you, we have better fireworks than they do. That woman barely has matches, okay?
I actually wonder what's different.
Oh, hers are more dangerous than ours.
Yeah, so we would have to get
hers
illuminator
are
fireworks.
Explosives, and ours would be fireworks.
Yeah, see that? Yeah.
And that's where we don't mess with that. You should also partner with Dude Perfect to see if you can get a coin to stand on edge. I don't have the patience to work with Dude Perfect. Their videos probably take forever to film, and I would miss once and be like, well, I can't do it.
That's it. I give up.
All right, let's move on.
I feel like Matt basically had like small TNT.
To Scungy, who asks, Dumas Wells starts out with a large group of people attacking a band of Aes Sedai while they are shielding a man. The show also has a scene that is very similar to that. Thoughts? Yeah, they totally ripped off Dumas Wells poorly for episode 4.
I think it's gonna be like poetry and rhyme.
You love quoting George Lucas to make me love you a little bit more.
Yeah,
I do understand what they were trying to do with the Dumas Wells reference in episode 4. I think that consistently the show has not been great at action sequences. So I'm actually like, there's part of me that's like moving forward some of these battles. I'm nervous about the show trying to tackle them. Because I don't like the action in season 1 pretty consistently, other than the Tigraine fight on Dragon Mount, I think was really well handled.
Yeah.
And I think the pilot has good action in it.
Yes.
But for the most part, I think the battle sequences in the show don't really work for me as someone who loves action and combat and choreography especially.
Yeah.
And so I'm nervous about the group fight stuff, just because they're the way that the show has shot group sequences in the past has not been the best.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
No, I agree with that. And here's the thing. I like the idea of what they were trying to do. Like I said, I think the action in the actual scene in the forest was not my favorite.
Yeah.
But I think what they handled with Logain and with the Aes Sedai shielding him and those like in-between moments and the aftermath of that, I thought was good.
The cave sequence was really well handled.
Yeah.
I thought all the stuff with Logain in the cave and the visual of the way that he exploded their shield was, I really liked that.
Yeah.
It was more the like
forest.
shaky cam Blair Witch Project.
Running through the woods.
Running through the woods.
With like 7 people.
There was no scale to it. Yeah. Where you don't really understand what the power is doing. It's just like blowing up the ground because...
Near people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Me Monk, thank you for that super
Jason
chat.
Farley also. Jason Farley and Me Monk, both of you. Thank you for those super chats.
Thank you, guys.
Jason Farley asks, speaking of fireworks, how excited are you for Min and Rand fireworks to finally happen? Very excited, especially on the show, because both those actors are giving me bisexual panic.
Oh, please, you're not panicking.
I'm a little bit. Me Monk 100. Well, because we're going to react to season 2, so the everyone will see exactly how bi-panicky I am on video. Me Monk 100 asks, happy into book 6. The Great Hunt is one of my favorites. I think y'all would appreciate it more on rereads. I have a feeling you're correct.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. This is gonna be the way that we are doing this book club is like hard and fast. I do look forward to the day where I can go back more leisurely and really go through the story, because it's I love the way that we are doing it, because it also is I am more analytical of what I'm seeing, and I am able to kind of think ahead about what may or may not happen. There's great stuff in The Great Hunt. It's not like any of these books are bad, right?
I think I'm probably going to reread both Great Hunt and Shadow Rising before the show season 2 comes out to see what is separate from those books and how they congeal them into one season.
Yeah, because the way we're doing it as well, the books are kind of like bleeding into one another in my brain, and so having a refresher on like what is from what would be nice. Yeah.
All right. Deshiva asks, in this book, Rand was all over the place. His days filled with keeping tabs on all the 1,000 little things that demand his attention, while also dealing with his love life, kind of. I added the kind of there, I should say. Bouts of madness and the ramblings of LTT. It's hard to call it a love life.
He's
while dealing with his teenage angst about women, as they tease him mercilessly. How long can he keep this kind of pace and workload? What will his days look like in the coming books? I think he's going to get laid more often, which will be good for him, easing that tension.
God, I hope so.
Yeah, I do. I do think there's going to be more sex, and so that'll be healthy, honestly.
It's a good release.
Yeah.
You know, you got to have those moments to de-stress.
Yeah, and I think that once he can get over it and admit to Min that he loves her, like, it's just going to help everyone. It's going to be easier for everyone involved.
Yeah. Rand is burnt out. And not, like, with Saidar, but, like, just emotionally.
I think Rand is going to burn out, literally.
Oh.
Yeah, I think that Rand is going to, like, because the Aes Sedai were unsuccessful, at some point in this series, I feel like Rand is going to get taken off of the board for a minute. And so I feel like the way that...
You think he's going to burn out of the power? Like...
Yeah, I think there's going to be a battle so big where he pushes so hard that it's like he's out for like months. And like the good guys have to like run around hiding him from the world because he's like trying to recover. It's going to be very in the vein of like all magic stories. Gandalf with his decaying hand in book 6, like that kind of like tropey story of the wizard that like goes too far with the magic and it hurts them. What?
Gandalf?
Dumbledore. They're the same character.
I was like, there's only 3 Lord of the Rings books.
There's actually 6. Lord of the Rings is 6 books. It's one book that is 6 books that is traditionally published as 3 books.
Okay, that's fair.
But there is actually the Lord of the Rings was originally conceived as 6 books.
Yeah, I was just very confused about that.
I will get pedantic to be right, okay? I know Dumbledore, but like that, it's a tropey thing of like the wizard who uses so much power that they have to like spirit charge for like 3 months in a cave somewhere. I feel like that'll happen to Rand at some point.
Yeah.
Josh Timko, thank you for that super chat.
Thank you for the super chat.
You guys do pick up more than most people on their first read. It's because we talk about it for 2.5 hours every week. It helps.
That's why.
Yeah. Taking notes, talking about it every week, and having chat clarify some things. I should have read your whole comment before I stopped to comment on your comment because you said the same thing.
You did it.
I said.
You nailed it. I wonder if Rand is gonna like nope out by choice instead of being like burnt out.
Oh, he's gonna pull a Luke Skywalker and go off to Octo?
Yeah. He's like, guys,
I can see it.
I'm doing my best here and y'all suck. So you do your thing. I'm gonna go just enjoy the rest of my life and then I'm gonna die.
I would say that would most likely happen if one of his ladies died, but because of how Robert Jordan writes, I don't think any of his ladies will ever die in this series.
No.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Aviendha did.
Die?
Yeah.
When?
She died and got brought back by Balefire.
True. Yeah.
So technically, she did die.
I thought you meant when he like was reviving her inside the igloo.
Well, was she dead then? Because maybe she's died twice.
Well, I don't think that if someone performed CPR on you, you were dead. If you're brought back with CPR, I don't think you were dead.
Really? A lot of people disagree with you.
Do they? Who disagrees with me?
If you're dead for like 2 minutes before you start breathing again.
You're not dead.
So if your heart stops beating, you're
not
still
dead.
alive
Yeah. Until you are dead. If you can be brought back from it, you're not dead. That is what Rafe said about the finale of season 1, and that's what I will hold to. If you can be brought back from it, then you're not dead. I will hold that. Yeah. You're not dead until there's nothing that can be done. What?
I don't agree with you.
You think that your heart beating is what makes you alive?
Yeah.
So then what if you're on dialysis?
Well, your blood is still being pumped, whether or not it's your heart, but that action is still going.
So your metric for life is blood movement.
I would say blood movement and brain activity.
Okay, but what if you only have one of those 2 things?
Then you're mostly dead.
Okay. Doobie, thank you for that super chat. So many as this at once, I could destroy a house, maybe. Aludra, chapter 40, the dragon reborn. Look, I think that she meant that it would light the house on fire and it would eventually burn down, okay?
Of course, yeah. Thank you for that super chat.
Jexel, is that Jexel? Sometimes the fonts you can't read, but Jexel, thank you for being a nerd.
Thank you. Welcome to the nerd table.
I will disagree about this forever. Guys, we have to move so much faster. We have so many questions. All right, we're gonna speed run a couple of questions. Lord Mandu asks, you mentioned that the problems at the White Tower leave it ripe for producing Black Ajah. How much do you think that this is the case versus the Black Ajah cultivating the problems over the century? I think this is the problem anytime you have too many women in one place for too long.
Wow.
I'm kidding. That was a joke.
Hashtag cancel nerdy.
Fucking cancel me, okay? I would love to be canceled. Do you know how good it would be for my brand to be canceled?
That's true. You get more popular.
Canceling hurts nobody except like sex offenders. Like if you're canceled for like a crime. But
and
like,
people are like,
if you're canceled, you just end up in the news. And then when you come back, more people watch your shit.
I know, it's bullshit.
Yeah.
Do you think in this case, sorry, okay, this...
Do you think that the tower is ripe for Black Ajah because of the Black Ajah in making it that way, or that it just naturally kind of ended up there?
Oh.
I think it's complicated because like we hear from like
it's both.
Lanfear that she took her vows before she went to the White Tower. So I don't know. It's complicated.
I think it's definitely a mixture of both, right?
Yeah.
You can have toxic people that aren't Black Ajah, right? Toxic and selfish people, but like who like won't, sell their soul to the Dark One.
Mm-hmm.
So that one is just a cultivation of so many things. The Black Ajah obviously make it worse.
Yeah.
For sure, but like it's not solely because of one thing.
All right, Bedbon Balefire, Mazrim Tame, Davram Bashir, and Leanne Sharif. Who's Leanne Sharif?
What? Leanne. Swan's keeper?
Oh, okay.
This fucking guy. Merlin, welcome to the
Sharif
nerd
threw
table.
me off. I'm not gonna lie. Merlin, thank you for joining the nerd table.
Thank you so much.
Please tell Morgana to stay away. Who's the other one? Morgana and the fucking
Mordred?
kid, Mordred. Mordred can fuck off too.
Okay, depends which okay.
Mordred can fuck off too.
All right.
Okay.
Guys.
Unless he's hot, then like, what's up, boo? Bedbon Balefire. This one's easy for me. You bond Davram Bashir, right? That's consistency. That's going the distance. That's a man you want to be with for a long time. You bed the shit out of Leanne. Because she's fun, but she will cheat on you. And then you fucking murder Mazrim Tame like Luthor and Telamon, the voice in your head tells you to.
The only thing, okay, I that is where my brain went as well. But the only thing about Leanne is like, would Leanne actually bed you? Or would Leanne just lead you on for 17 years until you finally gave up?
Look at me. I'm taking that woman to bed, okay? I'm going to show her a good time.
You're a better flirt than I am, that's true.
I'm 6'4". I got broad shoulders. Leanne will end up in my bed. It's going to happen.
She can hang off of them.
Yeah. And I have you. Like, that would be a fun threesome. You, me, and Leanne? Let's go.
That would be very fun.
Let's go.
I want one of those dresses. Honestly, though, Bashir is just a fantastic character so far. I definitely bond Bashir, for sure.
But yeah, Mazrim Tame is either going to go mad and kill you, or someone's going to come to kill him. Like, it's just too complicated.
Or the reason he staved off the madness for so long is that he's forsaken in disguise.
Yeah. Or maybe it's really just that you just have to masturbate the Tane away. Like, get it out of you. And Mazrim Tame is just like a serial masturbator. Yeah. Oh, God. Yeah. On just anywhere. Like airplane bathrooms. Mazrim Tame jacks off. Canonically.
No wonder Rand hates him. He's like, I don't know what it is about that guy, but I don't like him.
So Id vs. Ego asks, with the ending of the book, what sort of outcome do you want for Galena? Also, who's worse, Galena or Gawain? Galena is worse. What is this? Gawain is like a little bit...
How dare you?
Gawain is wrong, but Galena is evil.
Yeah, Gawain has made bad choices because he loves Egwene and his sister.
But, like, he actually has good intentions. Galena legitimately wants the devil to win.
Yes.
What comparison is this?
Yes.
What do I want for Galena? I want Galena to end up stilled and, like, living in, like, Emmons Field. Just miserable.
Yeah, I think,
hoeing it up on the farm, you know? I mean, like, with a literal hoe, not, like, being a hoe. Well, I don't want to, like, force sex on a woman. That's not my interest.
No, that's...
But, like, a little bit of hard labor.
Yeah.
For wanting to, wanting to murder humanity.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Guys, Nerdy is great calves, so I think Leanne could be persuaded.
They're thick.
Yeah.
I like
Yeah, I
Trunks.
don't understand the Gawain hate. I really don't. I think he's...
To be fair, there are 8 more books.
Yeah, but like...
And a prequel, which I don't think he'll be in.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, Galena's evil, and Gawain is just he's just a skater boy who said "see you later, boy."
Oh my God. Wheel of Time says, have the Wheel of Time books made either of you cry yet? If so, when? We've talked about a few of these as they've come along.
Mm-hmm.
You've definitely cried a few times.
Yeah. Oh, what was the one that got me? It was the moment that Swan
was
healed and remembered the pain of her warder dying.
Yeah.
That one, that hit me hard.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That was rough for me. That was the most I've cried. That was the hardest I've cried at these books, was the Swan moment.
Yeah.
With Gareth Bryan. And the way that Gareth Bryan like softens to her in that moment in particular, yeah, I really, really I was very emotional that night because of that.
Yeah, that one was great.
Yeah. Have you cried?
I kind of teared up once, but I don't remember when it
You don't cry as much as I do. And you also I feel like when you read, you get very intense, and you don't. I feel like you kind of shut off.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a wall between you and emotion when you're crying.
When I'm reading.
Perrin finding out his family is dead. I definitely was emotional at that. I didn't full on I was near tears on that one.
I think that was when I teared up actually, because I was I think it was in book 4.
Owen was pretty brutal, but I rolled fat tears for the Swan moment.
Yeah, I think I got teary for Perrin, but that was about it.
But the Swan one hit me because it reminded me of my grandfather's death.
Yeah.
And so there was an extra connection. I can't relate Perrin's moment to anything that happened in my life.
Yeah, absolutely.
Whereas the Swan moment, it took me back to a moment in my life, right? Mm-hmm. And that was...
Yeah, no, 1,000%. Yeah, I don't really cry at a lot of things, and especially reading, because I just kind of
Monkey asks, does she do the serial killer face when she's reading? Yes,
no,
yes she does.
Guys, it's just my normal face.
But it is we all know what your serial killer face is.
It's not. Oh my God.
Yeah, she's actually, guys. This is a good time for us to announce. Clarice is going to be in the next season of You on Netflix with Penn Badgley. So, look forward to that.
Don't I freaking wish. No, guys, I have always had a problem with resting bitch face, and I've tried.
Shut
your face. I've tried really hard to fix that, but when I went to college, teachers would be like, yeah, you just look like you don't want to be here. And I'm like, it's just 8 a.m. and I'm tired, but I do really like dancing.
Weird. I had a similar thing where they were like, hey, David, shut up. We get it. You have thoughts. Keep them inside. Wheel of Time. Oh, no. Wheel of Time fan edit asks, with 6 books down, how does Wheel of Time compare versus other fantasy and other fiction you've read? It's definitely the longest thing I've ever read.
It's not the longest thing I've ever read. Because I read the Warriors books, and there's 50 of those.
To be fair, I did read all of Animorphs. So I think Animorphs was probably longer than where we're at now.
Gotcha.
Even though it's much shorter books.
At comparison, this is definitely so far one of my favorite series of all time. I love fantasy. This is my brand. I really like it. It is hard to compare because most things that I've read are much shorter.
I don't read this is probably my favorite long form fantasy series that I've ever read.
Yeah, I don't really think
anything that's over a trilogy. I think that anything more than a trilogy, I think that this is my favorite.
I mean, yeah. It's tough. Aragon will always hold a special place in my heart just for what it was and what it meant to me growing up.
And Aragon is basically 9 books because Inheritance is 6 books long.
You could take somebody out.
You could take out a car with that. You know how some people put a brick on the gas to get their car going? I use Inheritance if I want to ghost drive my car.
Oh my God.
Deshiva asks, we didn't have a big confrontation or battle with any Forsaken in this book, yet we got to meet a handful of them through different POVs. Where are your thoughts about the insights we got of their personalities, goals, locations, etc.? I feel like we talked a lot about their locations when we met them throughout the book. But what do you think about their goals? Because right now their goals are nonsense to me.
They all want to be nipples.
They all want to be the nipples, yeah.
And so, yeah, I don't like...
I have a problem with a lot of series like this where they say like the Dark One's going to end the world and then give us control over the world after it ends. And I never get what that is. No series has ever given me like reason to understand what that goal means to them. And so I just have to go along with the idea that it is what they want. But like, here's my thing. If all of the humans are like in this shitty situation where the devil's there, what does Graendal get out of that?
She gets to be powerful. Like, she gets to be
but, like,
worshipped and acknowledged.
If there aren't people that like worship her.
Well, no, there are, right? The Dark One wants to just like break time and have control over everything endlessly.
Yeah, how is that going to lead to humanity flourishing in a way that Graendal will have people to mess with?
Oh, they won't flourish.
Right. So then what? But this is always where my question boils down to is like, what becomes their joy?
So basically, the Forsaken, they get, I guess, like a call from the Dark One, and the Dark One's like, "Hey, yo, I'm going to ruin everything. I'm gonna fuck shit up."
Yes.
You can either burn and, die and all that with everybody else, or you could come chill with me. Just, like, eat some good food.
Why
and,
would you assume that that's
time.
going to be chill, though?
Well, you don't, but people will take the option of something over nothing.
Yeah, but see, that is the point where that's where it becomes hard for me to relate to what they want.
Yes.
Right? And so I just am always kind of like, sure, you can live in a lawless world. I guess that's fun, but like, you don't really get to like be among people, which is the joy of life.
For some people.
For healthy people.
Well, no, there are people who are like reserved and withdrawn who don't see other people very often.
I'm not saying that like you have to be like with someone every night to be happy. I'm saying connection to we are social creatures. Like, connection to other people is the point of life, right?
Yeah, technically.
Like every single study done on people who are kept in like solitary confinement says that it is the worst thing you can do to a human.
Yeah.
And so like,
yeah,
I don't know. I guess
there's a lot of people who are like, oh yeah, not a people person, don't want to interact with anybody ever, but they don't actually do that. That's not true.
Oh, no. Only wanting to interact with the people that you want to interact with, I understand that.
Yeah.
Having a small circle, I have a small circle. I'm not a huge group person. You know me. I have some very close friends who I would take a bullet for, and then everyone else is everyone else, right? But whenever a series is like, in the apocalypse, that this evil dark lord who screams in my head and causes me constant pain causes, I'm gonna be the nipples, and that's what I want. And I'm like, sure, good for you, I guess. We're gonna stop you because that's a hellscape. I'm just saying, I think that in every version of this story, where there are bad characters saying like, the Dark One is gonna give me eternal life in the world of shit that he creates. I'm like, yeah, but it's power in a world of shit.
Well, and it is the problem with a just evil force.
Yeah.
Right? It's the same thing kind of like with like Lord of the Rings. With a lot of high fantasy stuff, it's like, this is the thing that's evil.
Yeah.
And it's just evil, and it wants the evil things, and it wants to do evil stuff. Yeah. And there's not a lot of depth to that, right? Like,
Sauron is the same thing. I'm like, what does Sauron get out of winning?
He gets to be number one.
Right? No, I get that. But what does he get out of that? And that's the question that I wish more of these series would tackle for me. Like, really get into, like, I understand what Voldemort gets out of winning. Because Voldemort doesn't want general mayhem. He wants wizards to rule, and he wants to rule at the top of that. Right? But, like, I can understand what Voldemort wants. And so it's easy to be... I'm not, like, relating to Voldemort, but in terms of, like, why these wizards who believe in wizard supremacy join up with the strongest wizard who believes in wizard supremacy, I can always understand that as a villain to fight against. But, like, the Dark One is going to cause the apocalypse and the time is going to fall apart. What does it mean to be immortal if there's no time? You know what I mean? Like, those kind of questions to me are always difficult to relate to in terms of the villains being, like, people. And I think that,
yes, they are hard to relate to.
Yeah.
1,000%. Yeah.
And Anyway, we should move on. I feel like we've tackled that, but that's my feelings on
That one's
Big
tough
Bets.
because that one's a big one, and that's just like a storytelling thing that we've all, that is like a trope of fantasy stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So let's move on to if you look back at your notes and previous predictions, have any of them changed after this book? Thank you for that question, Wheel of Time fan edit. No, I feel like most of our predictions are the same. Cat Swain is going to be in the epilogue of A Memory of Light. I called it.
Yeah, that one's... The only things that have changed are like things that like we were wrong about.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, that didn't happen, or this was different, or...
We've also made so many predictions at this point that I don't remember them all.
Yeah, we've said so much shit.
Leanne asks, how do you feel about the talents where some aren't tied to channeling, tree singing and dream walking, things like that, and those that are tied, like talent for healing? Same goes for talents that can relate to channeling.
Go up.
What? Oh, sorry. I don't know. I like them. I like the talents.
I think it's fun to have a world that is built off of the one power, right?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
It's like people in like modern day believe in like spirituality and like energy in a sense, right? That it is
100%.
in everything and all around us. And I almost think of the one power in Wheel of Time to be that kind of thing where it is everywhere and it is all around us, and you have people that can at will connect to it and see it and feel it, but it is inherently a small part of all living beings, right?
Yeah.
And so how that manifests just ends up being different, right? For like the Ogier, they can like sing to trees. And that's how it manifests inside of those specific Ogier. And then there are people that can channel. They have this at-will ability and to be able to sense it and be close to that, whatever energy is like holding the universe together,
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
I like the talents. Particularly Parents. Parents is the coolest to me. I like that Wolf Brothers a thing.
The Wolf Brother thing, I just want like a whole series of that.
It's a fun twist on the werewolf idea, and I do enjoy that.
Yeah, I love it.
I think that the talents that are connected to channeling are weirder almost, which is strange. Like I kind of prefer when the people who like Egwene being a dreamwalker and a channeler is weird to me. That's like that's not fair.
It's too OP. You can't have both.
Yeah, you can't have two things. But I do. That's kind of a joke. I actually like what it's done for Egwene's character, other than obviously the Nynaeve moment in book 5.
Yeah.
So yeah, overall, I like the talents a lot. I think they're interesting. I would like to spend more time with people who have different talents. I think.
I hope we see more talents. Like I hope that the sea folk people. There are some people that they have who have a
who can
talent.
like breathe underwater.
That would
Aquaman. I always bring it back to Aquaman.
That would be rad, actually.
Faisocan asks, given that Lan is basically absent from this book and we really haven't seen him since Moraine's death, how do you think he is processing that, and how will it affect his arc over the next few books?
Oh my god, Lan is going to be fucked
Well, he
up.
wasn't a man of many words before, so I think he's going to be pretty quiet for a minute, and then I think him and Nynaeve will bone down, and I think he's going to talk a lot.
I don't think he's gonna like be with Nynaeve for a while. I think he's gonna be very much like, no, I'm bad for you. And
I don't know. I feel like by the time they see each other again, because I think Ebudar probably goes through the entire next book. Like I don't think Lan and Nynaeve
the whole thing.
Yeah, probably.
Okay, I don't, but
I don't know.
I feel like that's just a lot because we're already kind of halfway through that story. Well, I guess I say halfway.
Well, no, but the Sanshin are going to attack, and then it's going to be a whole.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the bowl might happen in like the first half of the book. Because I think they have to fix the weather. Otherwise, like, all the crops are just going to be dead. And it just gets to the point where it's like...
Once everyone dies of starvation, it's like, okay, well, that one wins.
Yeah.
GG's.
But this is another case where I'm like, what does Graendal get if the world doesn't have food? Like, does she not eat? Anyway, we've talked that to death.
Yeah.
I think Ebudar, like, I think Lan is headed towards whatever battle... I think the next book is 3 battles, right? I think that Rand versus Samael is 1. I think that Elaine versus Aleda is 2, and I think that...
Elaine versus Aleda.
Or, sorry, Egwene. Egwene versus Aleda is 2. And then Ebudar's Tenchiko 2.0 and Ebudar is 3. And I think that those are the main 3 storylines of the next book.
Yeah.
Because I think we have to deal with the Samael of it all. Like, there's a whole army just kind of sitting there waiting. Also, I hope we find out who fucking killed Asmodean.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Oh my
Could
god!
you imagine like that?
It's in
happens.
Memory of Light.
No, like, but you get the end of the previous book.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, the new one's coming out. The new book is coming out next week. I'm gonna find out who killed Asmodean. It's gonna be great. You get to the end of the book, and you still don't get to find out. Like,
I genuinely, it is the worst. It is the worst cliffhanger ever. I don't like it. If it wasn't the very last thing in that book, I would feel differently about it if it had like happened at a random point. But because the book ends with it, because Robert Jordan made such a point out of that death, for it to just barely be mentioned for an entire book feels so bizarre.
Mm-hmm. I think Aludra killed him.
Unless you've read the books and then you know who killed him. It's like, okay, sure, Robert Jordan.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's Aludra. I think she put some fireworks.
No, I still think it's Demandred.
I don't fucking know. I don't know.
Although, no, it can't. I don't. If it was channeling, Rand would have felt it.
Rand would have felt it because it was just too close. Like, because he didn't go that far.
Robert Jordan killed Asmodean. That's, you know what?
He did.
It's like my joke. Someone on TikTok was like, "Who did this, or who's responsible for this?" And they were pointing out a photo of like Anakin and Vader, like Anakin becoming Vader. And my response was, "It's George Lucas." What do you mean?
Obviously, Jackson. Thank you for the super chat. Where in the story would you add a sudden zombie outbreak? Oh God.
In the land of the Sanchin, where they can go deal with that instead of...
Yeah, I was gonna say across the narrow sea.
Across the narrow sea.
Yeah. On the other continent.
I think a zombie outbreak would be fun. It would be fun. And, like, dead characters come back. The problem is not enough characters have died. The only fun way to do a zombie outbreak in something like this is if you Blackest Night it, like DC did, and get, like, Moiraine comes back from the dead, Lanfear comes back from the dead, Asmodean comes back from the dead, and they would, like, haunt Rand. It would have to be, like, Intel Ranriod for it to, like, not break the whole world and destroy the series.
Yeah.
But there would be a fun way to do it. Turvok, thank you for that super chat.
Turvok, thank you.
Robert Jordan loved teasing fans at book signings for many years, books about who did or didn't kill Asmodean. Well, that's great to know.
Yeah, I did hear that. That's fun.
It's just one of those things like...
I want to know.
I wouldn't have minded it so much if Rand was more concerned about it, but there was like one throwaway line in this book about it.
Well, because Rand is like...
And I don't know why Rand isn't obsessed about it.
He ran away.
I know, the Forsaken escaped. Obsessed, like Rand...
What is he going to do about
Rand
it?
obsesses about literally everything else. Rand has spent 3 books worrying about these fucking letters from Elaine. And a Forsaken escapes, and he's like, he probably escaped. Never talks about it again.
That sounds exactly like a human being. Oh yes, this problem that has probable consequences for everybody, whatever. But the woman that is hot and wrote me a letter, I must agonize over every word.
I disagree. I think that Rand has an anxiety condition, and he should be having anxiety about this as well.
I don't know.
We're moving on. We're only halfway through the questions.
Okay, all right.
We have to go faster. Breezy asks, which character must be protected at all costs at this point? Min.
Yeah.
Which should be balefuled out of existence? Galena.
Alana.
Fair. Breezy asks again, with all the effort Egwene has put into learning dreamwalking from the Wise Ones, how do you think she will react to finding out that Perrin has learned so much with a wolf as a teacher? Oh.
I cannot wait to have an Egwene Perrin reunion. Especially, like I said, I'm re-listening to not Great Hunt, to Eye of the World.
Yes, you are.
And they spent a lot of time together.
Yeah. And in the season 1, they spent a lot of time together.
Yeah, and with the wolves and everything like that. And I really am looking forward to the moment where Perrin is open about the wolf thing, and Egwene, I don't think she will be, because she's a little shit most of the time. But hopefully opens up about her dreamwalking stuff, and that they can, like, compare notes and figure it out.
I think Perrin is going to get lost in the wolf dream, and Egwene is going to go rescue him from it.
Oh.
At some point, like book like 12.
Like, you think Perrin's gonna be like that guy he saw?
No, I think he's gonna get lost in the dream, not in the real world. Like, I think he's gonna go full wolf dreams, chasing Slayer or something.
I was gonna say, what if Slayer catches him?
And I think that Egwene's gonna have to go dream walk and save him. Karen Taverin asks, what do you think of Ogier and fighting now? Do you think we will see Loyal fighting anymore after that carnage of a fight? Yes, out of necessity.
Yeah.
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 Loyal is going to talk a lot about how he hated the violence, and then he's going to pick up his axe and do it anyway.
Yep. And that's the thing, is when you don't want to throw it away anymore, that's when you need to be worried.
Colonel Sanders asks, now that Magidian has been freed, what do you think the consequences will be? Who do you think she targets first? Ooh, who's first? I think she's gone for a while. I think that the first time Mogideon strikes at the girls, we won't know that it was Mogideon. Like, I don't think that just because they captured her and kept her locked up for a bit that she will not be the spider anymore. I think she immediately goes back to her old tactics, and I think that we will see negative things happen to our girls, and then we will later find out that it was Mogideon in hiding.
Mogideon. That makes sense, because she'll never be the one to put herself in immediate danger, especially because she's had a taste of being like Adamed, like of being captive, right? I think she's going to be very careful. Who's she gonna target first?
Probably Nynaeve.
I don't know. I feel like Nynaeve is the one she wants like the most, and I think she's gonna have some like crazy elaborate plan for Nynaeve. So I'm gonna say not Nynaeve.
So then maybe Brigitte. Then she'll go after the non-channeler first.
Maybe Brigitte. Yeah.
All right. Power Guy asks, if you had to pick a contemporary song as a score for Dumas Wells, what would it be? Oh my God. The Arcane song.
The Arcane,
yeah. Oh, the misery. And then on the, oh, the misery. Bow. You know that guitar bar?
Yeah.
That is the explosion of the Shido.
Imagine Dragons. Guys.
Everybody wants to be my enemy. And there's just Shido exploding. Oh, the misery. Pow. Everybody wants to be my enemy.
Oh my God. That's good.
Yeah.
That is not the
my
vibe
enemy.
that I was thinking at all, but I like that.
Yeah, I think it'd be fun. And people are just popping to the beat. Yeah. I feel like you could choreograph Aram's sword combat to the rhythm of the I wake up to the sound. I think that would be great. Let the bodies hit the floor is good.
That's so funny. Oh my God. I don't know any like.
Rob Zombie. Burn through the witches and just because it's about like graves and witches and Aes Sedai.
Okay.
Yeah.
Trying to think. I don't listen to music.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, how contemporary does it have to be?
No, you know what I want?
What?
I want Ashaman, kill, and then it just needle drops in Miley Cyrus. I came in like a wrecking ball, and it just, you watch the rolling ring of fire killing all of these Shido as you just hear Miley Cyrus. I never hit so hard before.
It's raining men. Hallelujah.
We didn't start the fire would be fun. It's a little too topical though. It's a little too real world. Oh, 99 red balloons. What, you know when it kicks into gear and it's like 99 bitch as you watch like people just popping like red balloons.
Oh my God. Blood. No.
99 red balloons. Okay. Next question is Sharon Scout says, how different is spoiler Calliope's imprisonment in the Sandman versus that of Magidian, apart from the fact that Magidian is a bad person? They're both imprisoned and tortured for ideas, and that one is for personal gain, and the other is for the greater good. I think that the difference is that the choices for Nynaeve and Elaine are imprison her or kill her.
Yes.
And the choices for Rory are imprison her or don't be a bad person.
And let her go.
But Calliope isn't like going to murder anybody, and Mogideon wants to help the apocalypse happen.
Yeah.
So they're different. Now, granted, I'm not advocating for imprisoning women. I want to be very clear.
No. But you're right.
But the situations are different.
With Mogideon, they don't have... Because if they let Mogideon go, Mogideon's just going to come back, is going to hurt people.
If I had been in their situation, I would have cut her head off, personally. But
now that she's free, she's going to be an even bigger problem.
I don't live in a fantasy world where people have superpowers, and so I don't have to worry about that.
Yeah. Truly. But they're very different in the sense that Gideon is a terrible person who they cannot afford to allow to go free, right?
Matthew Huff in the chat actually asks, who's the stronger dreamer in the end, Perrin or Egwene? I think Egwene, because she can channel, so she has an extra toolkit in Tel'aran'rhiod.
Yeah, I don't really know about this whole, like, strengths in Tel'aran'rhiod. I don't really know what that means.
And Perrin doesn't seem to, like, be able to influence the dream as much as Egwene can. Egwene can, like, change her clothes and shit.
Yeah, change her clothes. She can bounce around.
Perrin
she can
always
find
seems to be
people's
naked.
dreams. Yeah, Perrin just chills out.
I think Perrin's just hanging dong in the dream world. So, although, honestly, if Egwene saw that, if she came up on Perrin, he's just hanging dong, I think she would be so distracted he would win that fight.
Yeah.
She'd be like, oh my god, that's a trunk.
Yeah.
It'd be like that TikTok. Whose horse is that? Smithis asks, why do you think Dumas Wells is so well known in both the Wheel of Time community and the fantasy community? Ooh, it manages to be gory and like disgustingly violent without being written in a way that makes it obliquely adult and
inaccessible for younger audience.
And
yeah.
so it's the level of gore that is mixed with a PG-13 quality of writing.
Yeah.
And so it becomes accessible to a large audience. And I also just think that in terms of like battles, it is the kind of gore that you want from Lord of the Rings, but you don't get because of the way that Tolkien wrote Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, it's definitely horrifying, but only if you really take a moment to actually think about it.
Yeah.
Right? You can,
well, no, I think that, and then the line of humans exploded is, you don't have to think about it for that long.
No, I guess, but like you said, it is easier for younger readers to just, like, for it to not be so, like, descriptive and, like, graphic in that sense. Like, I mean, I don't know, you watch, like, cartoons explode, right? Like, it's, like, yeah, it's not written in a way that I think is, like, R-rated.
Yeah. I also think it's just, I think it's the beats of it. Like, I think that you have it's basically a fight told in 5 acts, and each of them each of those 5 acts has a cool moment, and so it's well written. I honestly, at the end of the day, I think it's well written. And so it's iconic because it's well done.
Yeah, and the scale of it, right? Like,
yeah, and it's big enough to warrant it.
It's big enough, and we know Robert Jordan is really good at writing battle scenes. Like, he just gets it.
Yeah.
Whereas, there's a lot of, like, war stuff that you can read in other books that is maybe just not as good, right? He knows what he's doing.
Also, and I will say this, marketing is great. And the battle at Dumas Wells sounds cool. It's easily accessible, right? Oh my god, something happened at Dumas Wells. Whereas like the Battle of Emond's Field, it sounds a little normal world.
Okay.
Like the Battle of Emond's Field could be a battle that took place in World War II. The Battle of Dumas Wells sounds like a dope fantasy thing. It's like Helm's Deep, right?
Yeah.
Like all of the battles that I feel like you remember always have like a really cool ass name.
Yeah. They also
the Battle of Blackwater from Game of Thrones, right? Like the name of that battle is cool.
Having those iconic lines where people can really be like, whoa, like at a moment, right? Even if the overall thing is well written, well thought out, all of that, having those individual moments that you can remember makes such a big difference, because it's really hard, especially on your first time reading a thing, to remember all of it.
But Ashaman kill, so easy.
Having moments like that you can pull out to be like, what is I think makes a world of difference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Silent Miss asks, which character would you follow under their leadership into battle as a citizen? Min. I do what Min says.
Min.
Most of the wise ones.
I'll do anything for Min. Honestly, I would.
Soralia could make me do anything.
If I had to like be in battle, like if I had to fight, Matt. He's the lucky motherfucker. Like,
oh, Swan.
Swan?
Yeah, if I met Swan, I'd probably be like, especially if it was the actress, I'd be like, yeah, what do you need me to do?
Whatever you want. I'll do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
Chi_Ent asks, what is the most impressive achievement in Lord of Chaos? Rand getting Aes Sedai for fealty, Ashaman trouncing the Aiel in battle, Nynaeve curing Stilling and Gentling, Egwene becoming Amerlin Seed, or other. Actually, this goes back to the what is the biggest twist. Nynaeve figuring out the cure for stilling and gentling. I think that's the biggest twist in the book so far.
The biggest twist?
Yeah, that's the craziest, like, oh my, that's possible moment that, like, I didn't think would ever be possible. I thought that was, like, a hard line, much like you can't cure death. That being a line that they crossed back over was a surprise to me.
I thought that Nynaeve would cure it. Yeah.
I think the most impressive achievement there is Nynaeve, because Egwene doesn't do anything to become Amerlin's seat.
True.
Rand getting the Aes Sedai Sword of Fealty is because he has 200 Ashaman there, and the Ashaman trouncing the Aiel is like people with magic fighting people who don't have magic.
Yeah.
It's like when Rand says that he's not going to get into a sword fight with What's-His-Face because it would be like fighting a child.
Yeah.
So I think that Nynaeve is the most impressive of those four things because of the fact that it's one person accomplishing a task that was deemed impossible, whereas the other three are like either a group achievement or like Egwene doesn't become Amerlin's seat. A bunch of people think that they can manipulate her, and so they make her Amerlin's seat. There
is a fifth option, which is other. And I have to say, I find it very impressive that Galena managed to capture Rand.
That was so lucky, though.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
That I was like, oh, wow, this is how we're doing this. Okay. Like, that one to me, I was like, you got lucky. You had some good planning as well. And, like, there was a lot of manipulation there and, like, sneaky, underhanded stuff that I was, like, earned in a sense. Obviously, it's bad.
Yeah.
But, like, I think that they earned it, right? They went there with a plan and, like, they were aided a little bit by luck, especially with the whole, like, traveling thing. But, yeah, they really got what they wanted in that moment.
All right, we have a couple of... actually, Wheel of Time fan edit asks, which Forsaken are you most looking forward to seeing more of, from, and why? Demandred. Demandred is the one I'm most curious in because he seems to be the one at the top.
He seems to be the one at the top, and he also seems to be the one that we know the least information about.
Also, I like that he wins in this book, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, he goes to the Dark House, he's like, didn't I do great? And the Dark Lord is like, yeah. So, like, that's interesting to me. I like a villain that, like, is competent. And it seems like Demandred is competent. Oh, and is it Semirhage that's in the White Tower?
Yeah, I was going to say, Semirhage is one that I think is just super fascinating because she's like, I don't care about being the nipples. I'm just, I like to be here.
I also think that, like, being pleasured to death sounds fun. So.
No, does not sound fun.
I'm down for that.
No.
If I'm gonna die, I would like to die orgasming.
I guess if you're gonna die...
Like, if I had to choose, I would rather have, like, just came, like, 17 times in a row.
Sounds exhausting.
It sounds better than dying of, like, prostate cancer.
I guess.
All the men in my family, like... It took my grandfather, like, 10 years to die of prostate cancer. That shit was miserable.
I guess.
I would rather just have some woman be like, all the orgasms, and then I'm, like, done, you know? Death by snoo. James Ross gets it. We have a couple of Bedbond Balefires here. Stormdy asks, Lanfear, Mogideon, or Graendal?
Balefire Mogideon. Don't trust her. Nah. She's also just kind of like doesn't really have a spine. Yeah, Balefire Mogideon, guys. Balefire Mogideon. I would bond Lanfear because you know if you bed her, she's gonna come after you and bond you anyway.
Or she'll like kill any woman you sleep with after her.
Well, exactly, and it would just kind of like avoid all of that nonsense. So yeah, I would bond Lanfear and bed Semirhage. For the experience of it.
Yeah, I think that's the right. That is correct.
That is correct.
So wait, no, this was Graendal, not Semirhage. Semirhage is the next one.
Oh, I was reading.
I think it's the same either way, though. I would bed Graendal as well. So, like,
yes, no, the same stands.
In both of them.
Yes.
But okay, so if you had to choose, you have to marry one of the two. Then, so we're saying we're both going the same way for both of these three. Would you rather bond Graendal or Semirhage?
Bond Graendal or Semirhage?
Yeah.
Semirhage, just because she doesn't really seem to be like one to use compulsion stuff. If I was with Graendal, I would be like, is this me? I don't know.
See, I'm going Semirhage because that woman's a doctor. She's gonna have a good job. I can be her stay-at-home husband. She's gonna make money. You know what I mean? Like, she's got a career.
Of course.
Graendal wants to, like, be like a stripper in the circus, and like that's fun for a bit. But when we're talking marriage here.
Of course.
You marry a fucking doctor, and then you go to like the Maldives on vacation and shit. That sounds great.
Of course.
Yeah. Mines.
Thank you so much for
Thank you for the super chat. When and how will we see Ship Captain again?
I think in this next book, I think in Abu Dar, because the Sanshin are going to be there.
Yeah, I think we're gonna see him bent over, giving us a new definition of peg leg with Yin in behind him. No, I think yeah, I agree with you. I think he's gonna end up in Abu Dar with the girls. He's gonna be like, I did be dropping off that Adam in the ocean, and they did be coming aboard me ship and taking the Adam, and I'm so sorry, Nynaeve and Elaine.
You nailed it.
Yeah. And we'll see again and being like, oh, he do be doing things. Oh, god damn it, I keep doing that thing.
I'm talking. No, yeah. I'm starting to. Yeah. Yep.
His big shoulders have made me talk like him. Leak825 asks, Rand set up a university to preserve knowledge. What one technology would you bring back from the Age of Legends? And what technology do you think would be developed further on in the series? I think that steam engines, I think they're gonna build a train.
Yeah, that's literally the one that I was thinking of as well.
But what thing would you put into there from the Age of Legends?
Electricity.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. Or like,
I want the show wings. I want the helicopters.
Yeah, those are cool. Here's the first thing. The first thing that was plumbing.
Oh,
please,
yeah.
Please get rid of chamber pots and bedpans and all that stuff. Just
God, I love toilets.
Toilets are great. That would be the one
much.
thing that I would bless onto Randland. Toilets. Yeah.
Colonel Sanders asks, now you've seen some of how the White Tower politics work. Does the deposing of Swan in secret make more sense? Does it change your opinion of the deposing? No, it still doesn't make sense. It's dumb. It's so like the fact that how all that went down makes no sense.
Yeah, I'm still iffy on that.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Yeah.
Just because I've seen more of it. But like y'all, I don't like the SNI politics.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan.
They're kind of nonsense, but they're written in a way that you're like, oh yeah, this sucks, and I see how everybody is fucked because of it.
Stormdy asks, which villain do you hate the most right now? What do you hope becomes of them? Right now, probably Galena.
Do I hate the most? Yeah, Galena.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you hope becomes of them? I said, Stilled and farming in Emmonsfield.
Yeah.
Yeah. Turvok asks, now that you have listened to a good chapter of the audiobook, oh no, not farming in Emmonsfield, working for Days Congar in Emmonsfield. I think that should be her punishment. She should be stilled and have to be Days Congar's assistant for the rest of her life.
Yeah.
Now, and then like her punishment is that she has to help heal other people. But also she has to deal with Days Congar. So like, it's like literally her worst nightmare.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now that you've listened to a good chapter of the audiobook, what do you think of the voice acting during Dumas Wells and Epilogue? I think the voice acting
great.
They're great. I think the way they pronounce words sometimes drives me crazy.
Yeah.
I hate Tarvalon.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Tarvalon sounds fantasy. Tarvalon sounds like something like my southern relatives would name a child. Okay. Oh yeah, that one's Tarvalon Bradley. My aunt named her son Bradley, and their last name is Bradley. I have a cousin whose name is Bradley, and Bradley, I'm sorry to call you out like this, but we've talked about it since we were kids. His name is Bradley. Like
the least creative.
Him and his brother Tarvalon down there, like, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, Bradley.
He's not gonna watch this.
Yeah, no, the voice acting.
That would involve him having to read.
Top tier. Wow. You know what? You said it, not me. What do you think of the development?
Oh my god.
This one's from Breezy. What do you think of the development of the Black Tower and the final appearance of the Ashaman? You saw a reaction to it.
It's the best part of the book.
It was fantastic.
I freaked out. I was so excited to see the Ashaman show up, Breezy.
Yeah.
Blue asks, how do you think Egwene and Aleda will respond to Aes Sedai kneeling to the dragon?
No one's gonna be happy about it. Yeah. I know you think that like that's where Egwene wanted to take everybody anyways. I don't know if I agree with that. Mm-hmm. I think she's gonna have some really tough waters to navigate because of Rand, and because Rand now Rand doesn't trust her, and now doesn't trust her more because she's an Aes Sedai and what he went through. They're gonna have a terrible time.
Yeah.
I wonder actually the moment where Rand goes mad, from was it from Egwene's her
I can't help. I have no
test,
idea what
her
you're
accepted thing. Where,
Okay.
When Rand was
I
like,
never would have guessed that.
when Rand was like dying under the rubble, I think that they are not gonna be on good terms for a while, and that is gonna bring them together.
Okay.
That they are going
That's
to
fair.
have to work together in that moment while like Caemlyn is falling all around them.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I could see that. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Oh, and also I think that Aleda's gonna throw a fit and she's gonna become a nightmare.
She's already a nightmare, but she's gonna become worse.
Jurikhan says, with the return of the Daughter of the Nine Moons spoken of in the epilogue, what are your predictions for who she is, what her role is, and how her story is tied to Matt's story, short and or long term? I think she's a Sanshin princess.
She's a Sanshin, yeah.
Who might be the one that we met, but might not be. I don't know.
I wonder if she's like a princess or if she's like I mean, not exactly like royalty, but is like a almost religious figure. Because like the Daughter of the Nine Moons, like the Nine Moons sounds like a very like spiritual, religious thing. And so I wonder if it's going to be more that as opposed to being because it's not the Empress, right? We know that the Sanshin have like has the Empress, and so. Yeah. The Daughter of the Nine Moons, like I don't know how a princess works in the hierarchy of having like an emperor and empress.
That's usually their daughter.
Is it usually called a princess? I thought it was like a queen and a princess.
Well, no, I'm not saying that like I'm not saying it's going to be a literal Sanshin princess. I'm saying that within like the structure of the Sanshin, she'll be the princess.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I have a feeling it's going to be some kind of like...
I think it's going to be the Empress's daughter. I just don't know what the word for that is.
I don't think it's going to be the Empress's daughter. I feel like that, like, how the heck would Matt ever meet that person? Because...
Babe, it's the Wheel of Time. They're going to run into each other.
No, but like, why would the princess go sailing across the sea?
But because she's going to be part of the return. They say that in the epilogue, that she'll land and it's like part of the prophecy of the return is that the Daughter of the Nine Moon comes. Right? But also, Matt's best friend is the king of like 5 countries. Like running into like the leadership of the Sanshin isn't that unpredictable.
No, I just mean like the Sanshin feel like the kind of people who like wouldn't put like the royalty would never put themselves in any kind of potential danger. Even like they make everybody go.
They'll
do
still
everything.
go to a meeting.
I just don't think the Empress would lead people into battle.
They'll parlay. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know. High Lord Turok led people into battle. I don't know. Dakunas is their daughter of the 4.5 moons. Goddamn, our mods are just trolls. Why do we do this to ourselves?
Oh no, the Daughter of the Nine Moons is actually the 3 fates, and they each have 3 moons, and that makes 9. Because they're like 3 people in one. No, I'm telling you.
That sentence was way too much.
Matt is going to be
that sentence was that was too many.
No.
That was confusing.
Matt's going to be super jealous that Rand gets 3 ladies and he won't. So he's going to get his own 3 ladies that are actually one lady who is the Daughter of the Nine Moons.
What the fuck? Did you eat one of the edibles downstairs?
No.
What the fuck did you just say? All right.
I mean, you could have just said no. That would not be as fun, Takuna.
No, I called you a troll because you're a goddamn troll. Cheshuveler asks, how do you think the tower and world at large will react to the news of the rapid growth and amount of male channelers in the Black Tower?
People are going to be terrified.
They're going to assume that Rand is the way that we remember, like, we haven't talked about this in books because, you know, we've spent too much time with Rand, but like they're in book 1, they all think of the Dragon Reborn as being the devil incarnate, right? Mm-hmm. As being the son of Satan, the Antichrist, if you will. That this is just going to throw fuel on the fire, and the amount of Black Tower channelers is going to lead to more strength for Pedronile.
Yep.
And the White Cloaks.
Yes, it is, unfortunately. They're going to be a huge problem, and that's not something that I see a way to be easily, like, dealt with, you know? Mm-hmm. So
people are saying that this is an official prediction that Matt gets 3 ladies in one.
Matt gets 3 ladies in one. Let's go.
I don't know what the hell that means, but does she just have 6 titties? Just like 3 sets?
Yeah.
In Robert Jordan's land, that's like the perfect woman.
That is the perfect woman.
She's just all titty.
All huge.
Boley asks a question for Claris. In rereading, listening to The Eye of the World, how much extra things like starts of plot arcs, foreshadowing, and other nuggets have you noticed and missed the first time? And how much do you think you have missed in the next 5 books awaiting discovery when you get up to them?
There's definitely been a few things.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like, we said this before, because we talk about it every week and we stop and we think about it, I don't think there was actually, like, a lot that we missed.
I also feel
maybe I'm wrong.
I feel like the beginning of Eye of the World has the least reread potential.
Eye of the World?
I feel like, well, especially once like you're
still, you've
just gotten to Bearlawn, right?
No.
Where are you in Eye of the World?
I'm in Camelin. Rand just met with...
So you haven't gotten to the larger world yet. I feel like the end of Eye of the World will have more stuff.
Yes.
And like once you get out of the first book, there will be a lot more.
Yes, definitely.
Deshiva asks, what's the biggest plot twist so far? We already answered that, but I will say, I think I'm gonna go back to. I still think it's Nynaeve healing Stilling. That was the biggest, like, oh my god, wait, that's possible moment for me. Is that, do you want to add anything there?
No, for me, it is definitely the Ashman showing up.
Right. Pandoria asks, which Aes Sedai are for sure Black Ajah at this point? Unfortunately, it's Varen.
Yep.
I'm like almost 100% sure it's Varen.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, and it kills me. And Alana isn't, which is crazy. Because it feels like it should be Alana, but it's Varen.
I know. Like, Alana is still shit, but
I
also...
hope it's not. I hope I'm wrong. I want to be clear.
Mm-hmm.
But it's Varen.
Yeah. It is.
Yeah.
This is very sad.
Pandora also asks, which Aes Sedai do you suspect are Black Ajah that have not been revealed? I don't know what that means.
Well, I mean, Varen, I guess, would be one of them.
Oh, I misread the question. I thought you meant Aes Sedai who have not been revealed, and I was like, but if they haven't been revealed in the books yet, how are we supposed to know that they're Black Ajah or not?
Oh, yeah.
So it's kind of the same question twice. I'm gonna go with Varen. Breezy has a question for you, Claris. Going back to Eye of the World, how did it feel to listen to the Emmons Field 5 as they were at the beginning compared to them now?
It's so crazy. Like, Rand is such a different person that it's really easy to forget. It's really easy to forget that Rand and Matt, like, trounced across the countryside for, like, weeks. Like, performing together.
They were friends.
They were friends at one point.
Whereas now they just always seem to be, like, mad at each other.
Well, yeah. Rand doesn't have, like, friends, right? He cares about people for sure, but he doesn't have friends except really in Min, and it's really sad to see.
Yeah.
That is, I think, the hardest part, is that it's just that Rand makes me sad, mostly, because I see where it started and where it went to, and Matt is also very different. Obviously, we've talked about he had a bit of a reset, his character, which is interesting. I still get it. And it's tough as well, because Matt has the dagger for so much of the book.
Yeah.
That is what influences him as well.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, it's weird. Guys, I'm telling you, it's weird.
Breezy asks, how do you think Moraine would have reacted to Rand offering amnesty and starting a school for men who can channel? I think she would have recommended it.
I don't know if she would have recommended it, but I think she would have seen the necessity for it.
I don't know. I think she would have been on board.
Here's the thing. I think that if you had someone like Moraine overseeing the school, as well as Rand, she has a lot of experience with the power, not obviously with Saidin.
Yeah.
So us. I keep getting them backwards. But, like, she can at least be there to see what Tame is teaching, and Rand is like, make them into weapons, but Moraine can take that, I think, to a level where they're not just like brute force. There's actually like finesse there and a sense of like culture in the Ashaman.
Yeah.
And I think that Moraine actually would have been a really positive influence for that school.
I agree, but I think she would have been on board.
Yes, yeah. I don't think she would have suggested it, but I think she would have been like, I understand why.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Colonel Sanders asks, now that you've seen Rand break through a shield and the info received from the girls, does channeling make sense to you now? No.
Some. I mean, the channeling.
I'm fine with it, but like it doesn't. It's not a hard magic system. It is a very soft magic system.
Well, and it's one of those things where we saw specifically the shielding and the breaking of the shields, which I actually thought was great. I would love more of how the weaves work and how they are destroyed. Like, that was really cool. The fact that when it's soft, you can't do it. when it's hard, it's a thing that you can actually literally break. Rad. I hope we get a little bit more of that kind of explanation from future magic weaves, because I thought it was rad.
I understand it as much as I understand the magic in Harry Potter at this point. Where I'm like, sure, that you can do that. Why not? I understood it up until the healing of the stilling. And then at that point, I was like, okay, so people are going to do things, and I'm going to be okay with that.
What? No, what do you mean? We've talked about the magic forever. Been like, it doesn't really have like a structure to it, but...
I know, but before I was unhappy with that. But I've been pretty consistently like, explain it more. And then they explained it a bit more, and I heard the explanation and went, that doesn't really make any sense, but sure, I'm down.
Okay, I don't know.
One of the things about the power that does not make sense to me is the burnout idea, because I don't have any concept for what anything costs. And so the idea of when you burn out, I'm like, okay.
When you burn out, yeah, it is completely individual.
It is up to the narrative.
Yeah.
The magic is story driven, which I'm fine with because I like the story, and I wouldn't be fine with if I didn't like the story. And that's how I feel about it. It's really fun, and like the magic is fun to use. I like the way the characters use it, but like I don't understand when people are linking and when they aren't. Like, is the 6 of them holding him a link, or is it not a link? Wouldn't it be better if it was a link rather than 6 individual things? But if it was a link, wouldn't all of the points always be soft? Why would there be 6 points if it was a link? Like, there's a lot of questions that I have that I'm also kind of like, it's never going to get explained. Don't worry about it. Move on.
And I think that for the Aes Sedai as well, a lot of it, they don't know either, right? They say they don't know why they have to have 6. But that's just always what's been done, and so they do it. And they don't know why they can't tie off the weaves. They have no idea, but that's just how people have done it and what they've been told.
What do you mean they can't tie off the weaves? That's them going hard.
Yes, but they've been told not to, right?
Yeah,
that's
because
why
once they're hard, they can pop them up.
But they don't know that.
Right.
Is what I'm saying. Like, they've been told this nebulous, this is how you have to do it, and they don't know why. Like, they're just following instructions, right?
Okay, Skeptical Mario asks, we don't know what a golem is, but what do you think it is? I think it is Robert Patrick from Terminator 2, because he can, like, get under the door. So I think that it is just Robert Patrick from Terminator 2. It is a T-1000.
It's actually, a golem is actually a cat, because cats can, like, flatten themselves and fit in the tiniest, weirdest spaces. And you're like, how? You have bones, don't you? But they managed to do it anyways. Have you ever seen a cat just wiggle itself under a door?
No.
It's crazy.
They have skulls, though. Like, there would be a minimum size. What? I'm not wrong.
No, I'm just saying that, like, cats are fucking weird like that. They can fit in, like, absurdly tiny cracks, and you're like, that doesn't seem possible. How did you do this?
So it is either a T-1000 or it's a cat.
Yeah. One of the two.
Katsarita says, how much time has passed since they left Emond's Field? How much time passed in The Lord of Chaos? How much time do you think the rest of the books will cover? People keep asking us that question. I don't know.
It's really hard to tell at this point.
Because, like, I don't know. I don't know. That's my answer. I don't know.
A decade?
This book could have been 5 years long. It could have been 25 minutes. There's no weather, so there's no, like, seasons anymore. So I don't know. I think it's like 5 months. In this book. I think it's like 5 months. But I don't know.
No, because it's supposed to be... Because we get to Christmas.
To Christmas? What do you mean we get to Christmas?
The Feast of Lights. The Festival of Lights. Whatever that is. That's supposed to be Christmas.
Oh, no, it's New Year's.
It's New Year's?
Yeah, it's the 2 days that mark the beginning of the new year. But we don't know if that's at the same time in their calendar as it is in ours.
Yeah, but it is supposed to be winter.
Because their New Year could be the beginning of winter, or their New Year could be the middle of winter. Like, their New Year could be, like, the end of February.
I think 5 months is probably...
I think, like, 5 months, probably.
To accurate. Yeah. I'm going to say the books are going to be a decade long. That's my guess. I really don't know.
Thank you for joining the Nargs, Wildwood.
Welcome
Appreciate
to the
that.
Nerd Table.
How much time is left? I think, like, I'm going to go 3 years left.
3? Oh, wow. Okay.
Well, we've gotten about 2.5 years so far.
So you think it's going to be like about a 5 year?
Like 3 years, yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to say it's going to be a decade
total.
From book 1 to the last.
So you think
book.
time picks up after this book?
Yeah.
Time would have to pick up a lot to get to 10 years, right? We'd have to have the second half of the series would have to cover 3 times as much time as the first 6 books.
Right, and they can travel now, though, so that's...
Yeah, the traveling is going to speed things up a lot. Like, honestly, the next book could be a week, and it's just Rand and Samael fighting.
Yeah, it's probably going to be more like 5 or 6 years from book 1 to last book. I think you're right.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, I think you're right.
L. Gage asks, if you could pick 2 characters and one thing they should communicate properly about, what would it be? Min and Rand, because those 2 need to just, like, get to it.
You just need to get it.
They should get to it.
Honestly, for, like, the good of the realm, I would say Rand and Egwene.
Or Rand and Gawain. I feel like Rand and Gawain communicating well would benefit everyone.
Yeah. But I think that Rand and Gawain, it would be like a benefit of Rand and Egwene also communicating.
No, I've got it.
What?
Morgase and Rand. Because if Rand knows that Morgase is alive, so many problems are solved.
Yeah.
Morgase and Rand. That's my final answer.
Right, because Morgase is going to show and be like, bitch, I'm trying to steal my throne back. And he's going to be like, oh, yes, please.
Oh, you're alive. Oh, thank
good.
God.
Yeah, go for it.
I was going to give it to your daughter, but here, sit down.
But here, it's yours.
You work for me, but like...
Yeah. I would like to work together. Obviously, I'm Dragon Reborn,
No. You work for me.
No, it's Morgase.
Yeah, you work for me. Rand, if Rand has all of the Aes Sedai bending the knee...
I know, I'm teasing.
That might be the problem. I think Morgase might end up getting back. And then Rand is like, yeah, but you kneel before me. And she's like, nah, I don't. And he's like, no, you don't understand. I have magic powers.
Magic powers.
Loki asks, how do you think Perrin's superhuman nose affects the way you perceive the people around him? I really want to know what these emotions smell like.
Yeah, me too.
I have a weird... I really want to know.
Uh-huh.
Can you show me? I want to know what Perrin's nose smells like. What?
What his nose smells like?
Yeah, I want to smell Perrin's nose.
Okay, that's fair. I don't think Fael's jealousy would be less annoying. It still pisses me off, whether or not, like, Perrin is commenting on it often.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
Fael's behavior still bugs me no matter what.
She's something.
She's something. Id vs. Ego asks, what is each Eminfield 5's theme song? This is a tough one.
That is tough. Who would be like...
Rand is, I could be your hero, baby.
Oh my God.
Because he would be a song about being a hero, but it would also be like a whiny, like broody, like teenage boy song.
Hey,
your breath away. Yeah, that's Rand.
Okay. A little bit of wine. I like that. Matt is...
I have a terrible one for Matt.
Matt is Lucky by Britney Spears.
I was gonna say it's the Nickelback song.
Which one?
This is how you remind me of what I really am. Not like you to say sorry. I was waiting on a different story. These 5 words in my head scream, are we having fun? Yeah.
Oh my God.
That's right. That is Matt's theme song.
That's Matt's theme song.
Mm-hmm.
Perrin is Who Let the Dogs Out. Obviously, that is very easy. Right?
Oh my God, that is so funny.
Yeah.
That is so funny.
That is obviously that. So we've got
Nynaeve.
Nynaeve is that's tough.
Ooh, that is tough. Nynaeve is the hardest one.
Okay. Should we do Egwene first?
Dakuna says, wait, Nerdy is Nickelback? We're from the same hometown as Nickelback.
Yeah. Fun fact. My favorite meme for a while was, look at this graph. And I don't know why.
Look at this photograph. I've been to almost every place in that music video.
Yeah. Yeah, including like the random school. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, I went to that school.
Oh, God.
I whip my hair back and forth. I whip my hair back and forth. Ooh, Fix You by Coldplay for Nynaeve. I like that.
I will try.
Bad Moon Rising for Perrin is a good one.
Sean,
I feel a bad moon rising.
Sean, welcome to the nerd table.
Sean, welcome to the nerd table.
Thank you.
Ooh.
Egwene is
Matt's theme is Resurrection by Erection. Resurrection by Erection. I need to listen to that. I don't know that.
What is that? Oh my God.
James, I hear the holding out for a hero, but I feel like Nynaeve isn't holding out for a hero. She's like, no, I got it.
Yeah, she's like trying to like, she's like, I'm a coward, but I'm gonna do shit anyways.
Yeah. I feel like Elaine's is If I Were a Rich Girl by Gwen Stefani.
Wow.
That like seems like her vibe.
Her vibe?
Yeah. If
Gwen
I were
Stefani?
a rich girl. No.
Yeah.
Because she's got that like, I'd have all the money in the world.
She keeps inhaling
if I were a wealthy
veil.
girl. Yeah, because Gwen Stefani was super fucking rich when she wrote that song. And that is the Elaine's vibe where she's like,
oh my gosh.
if I were a rich girl. And they're like, you're like the queen. And she's like, yeah, but I'm not like that rich. And you're like, yes, you are. This doesn't make any sense.
No, yes, you are.
All right, we have to move on.
We need one for Egwene. We need
for
one
Egwene.
One at least. Something about I don't know, being queen. She's not queen, but she's the Amerlin.
Are there any songs about imposter syndrome?
Or like something like I feel like Egwene book 1 before they leave is Tangled. When will my life begin?
That, yes, When Will My Life Begins, very funny. But Egwene gets raised to the Amerlin seat, and it's Shania Twain's Man, I Feel Like a Woman.
Oh my god, no, that is...
Nynaeve and Elaine. She's like, I raised these 3 to be Aes Sedai, and she goes from being like a girl to a woman overnight.
No, that is Balthamel's theme song. Sorry, wait.
Halima's like, man, I feel like a woman.
Yeah, that is
I'm going out tonight. I'm feeling alright. Gonna let it all hang out. It's funny too because she like is like in this female body and she's like slutting it up with all the men.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that is so funny. Yes. Halima is oh god, that's so funny.
Man, I Feel Like a Woman. Absolutely.
That is brilliant.
Yeah. All right. Now we're moving on.
Demander asked, have I done well in the epilogue? What do you think he's referring to? What was he up to in this book?
He was sowing chaos.
He was allowing the Lord of Chaos to rule.
Yeah.
He was doing nothing because that's what he was asked to do.
Yeah. He was probably doing nothing or doing like a little like nudging here and there to like create chaos, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, like obviously like the one Aes Sedai being stabbed by the Shido, that created chaos, right? More people thinking Morghese is dead. Like he's probably at the root of so many of these rumors.
Oh, maybe he's just out there sowing rumors. I like that.
Yeah, or like perpetuating them for sure. Mm-hmm.
Emerald asks, will Min be the next to sleep with Rand, and how will Elaine react if so? Yes.
Elaine's going to be the last.
Elaine will be concerned that Aviendha is going to kill Min. Elaine's first thought will be like, oh no, I have to keep Aviendha away.
She has to, yeah. She has to save Min. That is very funny.
I think so.
Mm-hmm. I would love that, actually.
M- asks, which character would you most like to share a drink with in real life? Lan Mandragoran.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Lanfear. And I was
no.
like, no.
Lan is the kind of guy, much like my friend who I had a drink with the other night, whose name I won't say because it's name droppy. Which I guess is name droppy for me to say.
Yeah,
that.
you just...
I had a drink with a person I never thought I would ever get to have a drink with. And he is an intelligent, creative writer person who also is like not super like loud and boisterous. Like he's not like me. He's like calm and like
very chill,
older and smart and delivers wisdom. And like that's what I want to share, like a really, really expensive scotch from Malkyr, you know, the last bottle of Malkyr 20 or whatever, with Lan, and have just like a nice conversation by the fire.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I want to like be Gal and just like take out Bane and Chied, you know? Does that count?
Every time I'm like, we have a really solid marriage, I'm reminded my wife would leave me for a hot lady.
I would never. Absolutely not.
Sorry, my wife would leave me for 2 hot ladies.
2 is hard because like if 2 like come on, it's 2. I don't know what to tell you.
Oh my god. All right. Let's do this. Donavik asked, if you could add a skin to add to Fortnite from Wheel of Time, which character would you choose? I would choose Matt. Narg.
Narg?
I would want to be Narg in
Narg,
Fortnite.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Because like a person, and just any like person is just a person, but like a Narg. Can you imagine a Narg?
I was gonna
skin?
Say
that would be awesome.
I was gonna say Loyal, just because it would be
also
hilarious.
Great. Right. Yeah. Also great.
Yeah.
Anything that's like a little bit different, I think I would really love. Right.
People are trying to guess who you had a drink with, I think.
Oh, are they?
Yeah.
You're literally never gonna guess.
Yeah.
Because it's not. He's not like the most famous person on the planet.
I mean, yeah.
You know what I mean? But he's like famous within like a certain group.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Like I knew who he was, but like he's not. It's not like someone that's like gonna be like the marquee name on something.
No, it's not like Brad Pitt, where everyone's like, "That's a name that I recognize," right? Yeah.
If I had,
I would actually.
If I had a drink with Kevin Smith, I would tell everybody because he would say it on his 18 podcasts. He would tell the same story on each podcast, and I would listen to it.
This fucking
18 times.
nerdy guy is so weird. I want an Avienda.
I got accosted by a fan.
I want an Avienda.
Should I tell my Kevin Smith story? Do you guys want to hear my Kevin Smith story?
The delay. You're gonna have to decide whether or not you want to tell it. With
No. They can tell me in a second.
All right. Oops. Another question then.
So let me know if you want to hear my Kevin Smith story, and I'm gonna do this. What is the next one?
If you could join one of the Emmons Field 5 on their journey, which would it be and why? Definitely not Rand. I'm sorry.
Whose journey would I join?
Rand has no friends.
You end up on Rand's journey no matter what, though.
Yes, Rand is always going to be part of it. But here's the thing. Rand, like, I would want to be with somebody that I could be, like, friends with. Like, my first choice is Min, but she's not one of the Emmons Field 5. I would have to say probably... Oh, man. The most fun, I think, would be Matt.
I would join Perrin.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I could just hang out with Loyal and read books. That sounds nice.
Just read a little bit.
I would ignore Perrin, though. I would just hang out with Loyal.
But then you have to be with Fail.
I know, but I like Fail. Even when she's a pain in the ass. You know what I mean?
Okay, well, I don't, so I'm going to pick Matt.
Here's the thing. If I was there, I could help them. I would be like couples counseling Fail and Perrin. I would be like the bisexual friend who like sidles up to Fail and is like, girl, what the fuck are we doing here? No, seriously. No. I'd be like, girl, no.
Get your shit together.
Tell me.
You got a good man.
Tell me what the fuck you're doing here.
Yeah.
Because I will go smack Berlane upside the head. I will help you out here, but you need to tell me what the strategy is because what this is not working for me.
Yeah.
And I would do that. Okay, so quickly my Kevin Smith story. I was doing Shrek in Colorado. And I was playing Shrek, and so I had the star dressing room. And one day on our off day, Kevin Smith and why am I blanking on his name? Jason Mewes. Kevin Smith and Jason Mewes were doing Jay and Silent Bob Get Old in our theater on the Monday, and then Kevin Smith was doing an evening with Kevin Smith afterwards. And so because me and the guy who was playing Donkey, Danny, who's just a literally phenomenal human actor, everything, such a wonderful person. I love him so much. We went and saw the show because, you know, it's Kevin Smith. Like, we get free tickets because we were in the theater. It was great. So Kevin Smith used my dressing room because I had the star dressing room. And we saw the show. It was great. We didn't get to meet him because apparently he got too high, which, whatever. The show was so good. I love him. I love his movies. It was such a joy to see him live. So the next day, I show up to the theater and I go into my dressing room and there's like trimmings of beard hair all over like my like station in my dressing room. And I'm looking at it and I go up to like the owner of the theater and I was like, what happened last night? Like someone like trimmed their beard in my dressing room. And he was like, that's weird. The only person in your dressing room last night was Kevin Smith. And so I tweeted at Kevin Smith and I was like, hey, Kevin, it's Shrek. I think that you trimmed your beard in my dressing room and you didn't clean up after yourself. And he liked the tweet.
He just liked it. He's like, eh.
So I had to clean up Kevin Smith's beard hair.
Wow. Did you sell it on eBay?
No, No.
No, I know. Somebody would have bought it though.
Yeah.
What a guy.
But yeah, that's my Kevin Smith story. Fisocan asks, do you think the book would have worked better structurally if Robert Jordan would have put everything after Egwene was raised Amyrlin, from Matt arriving to the journey to Ebudar to the next book, to give that storyline more of a climactic feeling? Yes, I do. 100%. I feel like the book should have ended with Egwene becoming Amyrlin's seat and raising Nynaeve and Elaine.
Yeah. I think you're right.
I think it just would have. I just think it would have structurally worked better for me. Did you keep it? No, I threw it in the garbage. I don't.
A tiny crochet.
I grabbed a paper towel and I pushed it into the garbage. It took me 2 seconds to clean up. Like, I didn't really give a shit. I wasn't mad. Like, whatever.
No, it was just funny.
And it was that they were like, he was too high to like meet people the night before, that I was like, oh, he probably was just so stoned that he like didn't realize.
Yeah.
I'm not mad at him. It's a funny story to me. I don't care. Like, whatever.
You're like, now I get to tell this story.
I still, like, he was in Toronto with his movie Clerk. I went and saw it. I'm not, like, mad at Kevin Smith, you guys. I love his movies. I'm very excited for Clerks 3. There's no bad blood there.
Right, over the beard.
He does not remember it anyway, so it doesn't matter. But,
I'm sure.
Well, if he was too high to clean up his beard hair, I doubt he was high enough to remember liking my tweet about it.
I don't think so.
Yeah, no, but Feist Can, I do think that it would have worked better to end with Egwene being raised, just for the narrative of that book, but whatever.
Yeah, the one thing that's tough about that, though, is we talked about how, like, the first half of a lot of the girls' like storylines is, like, kind of not great.
Mm-hmm.
Especially the last 2 books. And so I don't know, like, would you have, like, filled out more of their stuff with something, or would you just have had their stuff only in the last part of the book?
You could have cut 200 pages out of The Lord of Chaos.
Yeah.
That book was so fucking long.
Yeah, probably.
You could have cut, you could have just cut so much of The Lord of Chaos.
Yeah, no, okay, you're right.
You know what I mean? Granted, it would have had to move into other books, but.
Yeah.
Yeah. Toot Towns says, Dumas Wells was a victory for Rand, but was it really a victory for the light against the shadow? None of the factions involved at Dumas Wells were openly on the side of shadow. Okay. The forces of light are now more fractured than ever. Rand and his factions are now clearly at odds with both the White Tower and Saladar. Demandred and the Dark One seem pleased with the outcome. Let the Lord of Chaos rule. Okay. Yeah, no. It is a win for the light against the shadow, because at the beginning of the chapter, Galena, who is a dark friend, had Rand in a box. Yes, maybe not openly a dark friend.
Oh, like Rand breaking out of the box and being free is definitely a win.
Dumas Wells is a win, because at the beginning of the chapter, the leader of the dark friends in the White Tower, who isn't Semerhage, has Rand in a box and is torturing him, and at the end she doesn't. That is a win for the light against the shadow, because in the other situation...
In the other situation, Rand goes to the Eleda and is captured forever, and how do you get him out of the tower?
And then the 13 they do the control spell,
right.
And then Galena, the dark friend, has Rand under a control spell forever and controls his brain.
Yes.
Like there is, and Semerhage is there, who could have tortured Rand forever with her Forsaken magic. It is a win for the light against the shadow because Rand is in a box being tortured, and then he isn't.
Yeah. Okay.
It would be like, is the cemetery with Cedric Diggory really a victory because Cedric Diggory dies? And I'm like, yes, but there's a point where Harry Potter is bound to a coffin or to a headstone, and then at the end of the chapter, he's back with his friends.
Yes. Yeah. Lots of people died, and no, it's not like the forces of good are all fine and dandy. But yes, Rand not being under the control of Eleda is a good thing. Definitely a good thing.
Whether or not Galena is publicly a dark friend, we know that she's a dark friend.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Dragon Snacks asks, is the voice of Lews Therin in Rand's head real or is it madness? This is the last question. So we did it in under 2.5 hours.
Let's go.
It's real.
Is the
voice of Lews Therin Telamon. I am more convinced than ever that Lews Therin Telamon is going to be a physical character at some point in the series.
Do you think he comes back with the horn? Matt comes and blows the horn, and it just like pulls Lews Therin out of Rand, and that's how the taint is healed.
That was so cool.
What?
That would be rad. If Matt blowing the horn of Valir tears Rand into 2 people. That would be I would love it.
I mean, that would be horrifying, but like, yeah, because like Lews Therin is.
Oh, I would love that so much.
Like don't want to say like a hero, but like, because he fucked up, but like he is a person that I feel like is bound to the wheel.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah. Throw that prediction in the prediction box.
That would be the coolest way to do it.
Yeah.
If the horn draws Lews Therin Telamon out of Rand into the real world because it needs a hero, and then holding out for a hero plays. And it's like, where have all the good men gone and where are all the gods? And Lews Therin Telamon is just bouncing around the battlefield, smacking Samael on
Elena!
I'm so sorry, Elena. Here's the thing, though. I think that if Lews Therin were to ever get out of Rand and be his own person, he would do what Moiraine was worried Lan would do, and he would go fight until he died.
Oh, yeah.
Like, Rand was so worried that Lan would just go into the Blight till he was dead.
He would throw himself into He would literally walk through the front door of the White Tower to murder Galena.
Mm-hmm,
you know, like, 1,000%.
It would be rad. I think that he would team up with Logain, and they would go on a murderous rampage through the White Tower.
No, the first thing he does... No, if this happens, the first thing he does is kill Mazrim Taim. And Rand has to deal with the consequences of that.
Oh, so it's a three-way between Mazrim Taim, Lews Therin, and Rand?
And maybe Logain is there.
And maybe Logain is a four-way.
Oh,
See, here's the thing. That would be an interesting way. I think that if Lews Therin kills Mazrim Taim, and that's how Logain becomes leader of the Black Tower, because I think that Logain will lead the Black Tower at some point.
Yeah.
I think that is the glory that Min is seeing. Interesting.
Yeah. Well, because, like, I think that, like, the people like Brigitte who are turned out by the wheel and are connected to it in this way, like, are of sound mind and body for the most part, but like Lews Therin is tainted and maybe like would have potentially been like turned out again by the wheel and kind of was in Rand in a certain way, but because that taint, the like borders of that, like the lines between that, like, because Brigitte's like, I never remember anything about my previous lives, right?
Yeah.
And so because of the taint, those lines are gray and blurry, and that's why we're getting this weird fusion of Rand and Lews.
I love it. I love that a lot. It's good. That's some good thinking. That's why I married this lady, because she's super smart and interesting. Clarus, before we get to the end of the podcast, we got to rank the book so far.
Oh.
Because we literally named because the first title, Edging Budar, was flagged for monetization.
Yes.
So I named this video ranking the first 6 books. Rank them. It's easy for me because it's the same ranking, just with this one slotted in.
We did this last week, though.
Did we?
Yeah. Because my favorite is 4. Oh, no, wait. No, we said our favorites.
Mine is 4, 6.
Which you changed from last week.
Yeah, because I thought about it for a minute, and I still think 4 is the best book.
Yeah, 4,
Just
6.
because the Ebu Dar stuff not really ending anywhere just kind of is like not as good as the ending of 4. With everything happening at once, everything we learn about those characters, it's really solid stuff. I go 4, 6.
Yeah.
And then 3, 1, 2, 5. No, 5, 2. 4, 6, 3, 1, 5, 2.
That's tough. I don't know. Yeah. 5, 6 for sure. Sorry, 4 and 6, definitely. 4, 6. I don't know. This is really
I love watching
hard.
you panic.
I don't like it.
This is why we did Clarus Makes Up the News for so long.
The same one as him.
4, 6. So it's 4, 6,
3,
1, 5, 2.
5, 2.
Yeah.
Which is tough. I actually don't know. I don't know, though, because there's great stuff in 5. Guys, here's the thing. The problem is they're all good. There's stuff in 5
it's ranking. Like, I don't dislike a single book.
Yeah.
There's things I dislike in 2, and there's things I dislike in 5.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, as much as I love I think the Rand stuff is some of the best in book 5, but I think the Nynaeve Elaine stuff in book 5 just isn't my favorite.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, for sure.
And so that the balance of 5 is low because I love half of the book 1,000%, and there's some stuff in it that just isn't my favorite.
The problem is as well, like, I'm going to have to go back and figure out what things happen in which book because it's all blurring together in my brain right now.
Yeah, it's a lot. There's some chat about how there were some questions asked in the Discord that didn't get asked today. Sorry about that. Our mods determine what is spoilery in those questions. Yep. So before we go into the questions tab, they go through with a fine-toothed comb.
Yeah.
And they comb the desert, as they say in one of our favorite movies, Spaceballs.
It's a good movie. Yeah. So for next book, we will do the same thing again for our full book recap, where you can drop questions in that channel. And
that won't open until a few weeks.
That'll be weeks away. So
yeah. Oh, and according to Monkey, a lot of questions get deleted as duplicates as well.
Right.
So
yes.
be the first to ask the question, and then we might answer it.
Yeah. If someone else did ask it, then there is that. Like we just don't want to say the same thing 6 times. So,
Obviously, I think anyone who's listened to a podcast before can tell we're getting to the end of the podcast. So now's a good time to mention that this podcast is brought to you by Audible. Audible is where dead trees go to protest the fact that they were cut down and turned into books by telling you to use electricity, which also harms a different part of the environment, to listen to books. Audible.
Okay. Wow, that I didn't like any of that.
Audible is a great service where you can download, I think there's like 180,000 different books on there. Or
Only?
like over 180,000 books on Audible. Only?
What?
An audiobook is like 40 hours. How are you going to get through 180,000 books?
Unless it's a novelette, then it's not 40 hours.
What's a novelette?
It's like a small novel.
Do you mean a novella?
Maybe? No, you just add "et" on the end and it makes it smaller.
Unless it's a novelette. Go to audibletrial.com/nerdynightly to get your free novelette. What's your favorite novelette, Clarus? What novelette should they go download?
I've never read one, so...
You've never read a novelette?
Well, apparently they don't exist.
If you want a good novella, I think some people consider Carrie by Stephen King to be a novella because it is a shorter book, but it is excellent. And it's quite worth it. And I've heard there's a pretty good audiobook of it. So go listen to that at audibletrial.com/nerdynightly. Go over to our Fourth Wall store to buy a beanie because you gotta be a ciswaya mommy.
Ciswaya mommy!
Winter is coming, and it is time for you to be a ciswaya mommy with the beanie of the dragon from our Fourth Wall store. It is time for the big segment at the end of each book. It's harder at the end of a book than it is week to week. What is your high and your low? This is what we did at my
whole book
dinner table as a kid, so that the family would stay close. We'd celebrate our highs. We'd commiserate over lows. We go her high, my low, her low, my high, so that we can compliment sandwich this biche. What's your high of the book?
My high is the high that I did. Both my high and my low are actually from the last section of this book, which is fun. My high is still that moment with Sulin when she comes back.
Mm-hmm.
When she's like, you know what, I'm done with this shit.
Get my cat and sword.
Yeah, and she like starts like yelling at people with her hands.
Yeah,
it's great. I love it. I'm
gonna go with my low for the entire novel. The whole book.
Yeah.
The whole book.
The whole dang thing.
The sequence with the Aes Sedai, after Egwene becomes the Emerlin, where they're all being convinced of things, but Robert Jordan didn't set up what their opinions were first, so I just didn't really understand what they were being convinced away from.
Okay.
And I was like, manipulation is interesting when I understand like what the A and the C is, and like then the B becomes really interesting. But because Robert Jordan started at B to get to C, I just didn't know what A was, and so it just wasn't my favorite way to show how good at manipulating Swan was, because I just didn't know what anyone's perspective was prior to the manipulation.
Yeah, and my low is the Perrin Fail stuff.
I knew it would be.
Yeah, you knew. I couldn't fucking stand it.
My high is, I think it's going to surprise people, because when I really look back, when I think about this book, what was the moment that like shook me the most? It was Swan's breakdown. It was just the moment in the book that emotionally meant the most to me.
Yeah.
And it came out of Nynaeve learning how to heal Stilling, which shocked me and was a big moment.
Yeah.
And it led to this emotional moment with Swan taking in the loss of her warder for the first time, really. That just emotionally, as much as I love all the big moments and the fights, and it's all really cool, the fact that the book made me cry as hard as I did, and the fact that it was able to like dredge up this real world feeling out of me, that made it my high.
Yeah, no, that's valid.
Yeah.
Apparently a novelette is a thing. It's been defined in the chat by Roger. Thank you.
Well, now I feel like an asshole.
Honestly, now I feel dumb because I made up the word and then was like, that doesn't exist.
You have to divorce me now.
Legally?
Yeah, because I'm a dick.
It's like required?
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, that's the line, guys. We found the line.
He looked at me funny when I said novelette. That's it. We're done.
That's it. I can't do it anymore.
I didn't think it was a word because you said it with so little confidence.
I did.
Yeah.
That was totally my fault.
All right, where would you add sex scenes into the book? Oh, follow us around the internet. I'm at Nerdy Nightly.
I'm at Claris Polaris.
Subscribe to the channel. We're about to pass 16,000 subscribers. So to all you mad lads who joined us in the last month, thank you so much. We really appreciate it.
And if you don't like sex, this is where you leave.
Yes.
If you're not a fan
or if you
of
don't
sex,
if you don't like other people's sex, if you can be like pro personal sex.
Right.
If you don't like public displays of talking of sex.
Public displays of talking of sex.
Then leave now.
Then yes.
It's time for the Smut Corner.
Guys, everyone's favorite time.
The segment that Audible doesn't know about yet, because if they did, they would probably stop sponsoring the podcast.
Nah. I need Elaine and Min to just like get a little practice in.
No, I need Elaine. I need Elaine to bring Min into the bedroom with Avienda, so that Avienda and Min can become near sisters.
Yeah, okay, like all three of them is even better.
No, but Elaine needs to bridge it so that she's like, all right, ladies, I'm near sisters to both of you. You need to become near sisters to each other.
Yeah. No, I want that. They are my favorite. Brother Torvin's Gaptooth, thank
you for the
so much
super chat.
chat.
Happy belated birthday and welcome to book 7, the prelude to the slog. That said, I also love the slog. Here's a prediction for you. Can I throw in a last minute prediction? We won't feel a slog because the joy of getting to talk about these books with you every week will get us through whatever happens in them.
Yeah. No, I'm very excited. I don't think we're gonna feel it the same way that other people have.
I said that I would tell you guys the split. Monkey sent it to me. Here's the split for the next section. Week 1, prologue to chapter 8. Week 2, chapter 9 to chapter 18. Week 3, chapter 19 to chapter 31. And week 4, chapter 32 to the end. There's only 4 splits this book, guys.
Yeah.
Remember that. Let's check out what the beginning of the next book is.
Should we read the first? The wheel of time turns, and there's no beginnings, and there's no ends.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to start we're going to look at how long the prologue of the next book is.
Oh my god, 100 pages at least.
The prologue of A Crown of Swords is 48 pages.
Okay, not bad. No, that's not that bad.
It is much less than the last prologue.
Yeah,
The wheel of time turns and ages come and pass, leaving memories that become legend. Legend fades to myth. And even myth is long forgotten when the age that gave it birth comes again. In one age called the Third Age by some, an age yet to come, an age long past, a wind rose in the great forest called Brame Wood. The wind was not the beginning. There are neither beginnings nor endings to the turning of the wheel of time, but it was a beginning.
The fuck is this wood?
The Brame Wood.
I don't think we know it.
I think that's where Dumas Wells is. Maybe. I don't know.
Okay, and who do we get at the beginning of the prologue? Lightning and the thunder. What?
I'm going to read the beginning of the prologue, guys. Let's go. From the tall arched window, close onto 80 spans above the ground, not far below the top of the White Tower,
Asmodean,
Aleda could see for miles beyond Tarvalon to the rolling plains and forests that bordered the broad river Erinon, running down from north and west before it divided around the white walls of the great island city. It's dividing around North Harbor, also known as the Clitoris. If you don't know where that is, you're probably a straight man.
Find that.
We start with Aleda.
Cool. That's
gonna be fun.
Spicy. Okay.
Add a sex scene. Come on.
I did. I want the lady lovin'.
Oh, that's true.
I also really think that like
Oh my god.
I lost it. I'm sorry. What?
I just thought of the worst, but I want it.
The worst?
Yeah. Have you ever seen Forgetting Sarah Marshall? You have. Chat. I'm talking to you. In Forgetting Sarah Marshall, there's a scene where the two couples, Mila Kunis and Jason Segel, and Kristen Bell and Russell Brand have like an orgasm off. Mm-hmm. I want that, but it is Fael versus her mother in Camelin.
No!
They're trying to outdo each other with their husbands.
In the other room?
Yeah. They can like hear each other through the wall, and they're trying to like out-noise each other while they're having sex. And both Davram and Perrin are on their backs just looking up at their wives going, what are you doing? Why are we doing this?
Oh my god.
Ultimate Smut Corner, that's what I want.
I hate it. You're the worst.
That's what I want. I want the orgasm off, Rafe.
The
Keep it in the family. Sorry, I'm thinking incest stuff because House of the Dragon is up, which means you can go over to our House of the Dragon reaction. Episode 2 is live, and it's doing really well. So thank you to everyone who watched that already. I'm going to drop the link to that in the chat, and then we're going to get out of here because it is 8 billion degrees in this room right now.
Yes.
And I am uncomfortable.
It is very toasty, but thank you guys for joining us. I'm sorry that today was a mess because we started late because internet, all that fun stuff. But please go click that video, give it a like, let it run in the background, comment for the algorithm gods. You know how to sacrifice properly.
And as always, do something nerdy tonight. Thank you to our mods. Our mods